Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm so sorry for being a little bit late. I literally realized right as ads were ending that I was like, oh shit, I didn't take my meds. I take them in the morning. And I was like, I should go do that. And then I went to grab my weekly pill container, and I was like, oh, right. I fill it Friday night, so there's nothing in here. So I had to go find the goddamn bottle. I'm just a mess this morning. I had really bad. Oh, the music's way too loud. I had really bad brain fog yesterday. But I'm here, queer. It's almost Pride Month. I'm super hype. But thank you, Sin, for being first, and for the hydrate. I took my sippies. Hello, Rel. Welcome in. Thank you for being second. I hope both your mornings are going well. Really excited to play Chronotopia. It is a folklore Cinderella retelling. So I'm super hype about it. There is a lot of trigger warnings, death, violence, censored nudity, but like graphic scenes are mentioned. There is a single scene with some animal death that's off screen. And like, I really like what I like about this list that I pinned to the top. I pinned the store link and as well as the content warning list. Is that it's very specific on where it happens instead of just doing a general list overall. It tells you explicitly when something happens. So, excuse me, if there's something specific you do not want to see, I highly recommend checking out that list. And then that way when we potentially, because this is a visual novel, so choices matter. So it depends on the route we go. But at least you know as we're going through the game what will happen when. But overall, I'm super excited. And yeah. I feel like I had something to say. Not an announcement. I don't know. Oh, also, stream stickers website is down for maintenance. The chat Autobot was just like, your connection's iffy. You should check on that. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just because I haven't logged into stream stickers in a while. The fucking site's down for maintenance. They made it seem like it was my fault. How rude. So please do not use those. And then, yeah, I think that was it for announcements this morning. We can dive right in. I hope y'all are having a cozy morning. I know I am. I literally got dressed right before stream. I was in bed all morning. It was glorious. How did it all begin? Before my eyes was the most beautiful landscape one could imagine. A vast blue sky as far as the eye can see. A bright sky speckled with thin clouds. I could never have dreamed of a better place to honor my last moments. In fact, it is almost a waste. The light is too dazzling, too powerful. I am falling apart on the spot. Thin strands of hair periodically obscure my eyes. The light is too dazzling, too powerful. Oh, I read that. My own weight takes me down in an endless free fall, lower and lower still. Yes, I am drowning in this gaseous immensity. Little by little, my thoughts turn into a confused jumble. My whole being becomes numb. I am blown away by the wind like a wisp of straw, swept away, far away according to its whim. The very contours of my being fade away. My memories, my essence, disappear. To tell the truth, as my body approaches the ground, as the impact becomes imminent, nothing matters anymore. I would like to say that I'm scared, but I do not feel anything anymore. All I know is that I do not deserve what is up above, that I do not deserve to fly. While my corporeal envelope shatters into pieces, my mind keeps moving. Particles float around my stiff and lifeless body. Everything becomes dark, silent. I do not know where I am going, but I know that this is where I belong. There lies my punishment. I return to original darkness. How can I be forgiven? A rustle interrupted my slumber. You didn't see the Steam award, but it's like, congratulations, you're dead. Thanks, I guess, Steam. Or I guess the developers are the one that made the achievement. I love they reward you for just getting through the first reading. Like, congrats. You made it 5 seconds in. We're proud of you. Anyway, my eyes opened by themselves, almost against my will, to reveal a blurry and gray world. Confused, I tried to move, but my body had suddenly become so heavy that it would not respond. After long minutes spent struggling against myself, I finally managed to twitch my fingertips. Yet something was still holding me back. All of a sudden, I realized that I was not lying in my bed, just awakening from a long and pleasant night. I opened my eyes wide. I was standing, held against a wall by climbing plants. Hello. No worries. We just started. I'm barely in. I just got my reward for the first achievement. So no worries. How are you doing? Oh, Helianthus. I definitely mispronounced your username. Please correct me if I am wrong. But I hope you're having a good day. Where did I left off? A flexible botanical wall surrounded me, wholly in some sort of protective and comfortable cocoon. Call me Helia. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Slightly pulling on the plants made them collapse and allowed me to entirely release myself. I could not stay here. I had to leave. I had a cat emergency, but otherwise I'm going, oh, I hope your cat's okay. Oh, I totally get it. Had a cat emergency last weekend, but luckily it worked out. So, I feel you. Determined, I pierced the membrane with my own hands and stepped into the unknown. I found myself in a gigantic temple plunged in half light. Pale lunar rays passed through from above the vault, which allowed my eyes to get used to the darkness and finally see what the night was hiding within. Those look like giant spider eggs. I know! There is, hi, Sai. Oh, sorry, hold on. Rewinding. Hi, Sai, welcome in. I hope you're having a good morning. Yes, I agree. They look like spider eggs. And I didn't read the full trigger warning list, not gonna lie. Luckily, there's not much that triggers me personally. But I did pin to the top of chat not only the store link, but the trigger warning link. So feel free to take that look. It's very detailed, which I love. The developers were kind enough to put exactly when the content warning appears. So definitely recommend checking it out if there are some things you like to avoid. Oh my gosh, my memory is foggy today. All right, hold on. I remember reading Pale Lunar Rays. Did I? Actually, I don't know. I'm just reading from the beginning. I don't remember what I read. I appreciate that, but I'll just die if I die. Honestly, that's kind of how I feel. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I guess I'll just figure it out when I get there, and then I could skip. She had an entire blade of grass stuck in her nose. I had to remove it. Hopefully she feels better. Oh, poor baby. I'm sure she's feeling better, but I hope things go better for her. Oh. This is going to be a little low-key gross, but, you know, pet owners be pet ownering. This was years ago. She's got to stop snorting the nip. But this was years ago with a childhood cat, and it wasn't even my cat. It was my younger sister's cat. And she had just used the litter box, and I noticed she had a second tail. And I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Somehow she got a tiny piece of black ribbon, and it luckily did not get stuck in her system, but it did get stuck in her butt. So I had to chase her down and slowly pull it out. It was uncomfortable for both of us. But she made it. She's well alive still. She's an old lady now, but she's still good. Has not been near ribbons since. That has been banned from the household, and I chewed my sister out for that. But it was an experience. My cat eats string and has had that happen. It's the worst. Oh, she got all the treats. She got all the treats. But yeah, this was years ago. I was in high school, end of high school, beginning of college. I don't fully remember. So this was over 10 years ago, but it was an experience. But hey, go me for not waiting for my parents to get home, and I was just like, I can handle this. I'm old enough to be able to deal with this by myself. I was the only one home at the time. But it's good. We're Gucci. She's an old lady now who just lounges in the sun and gets weighted on hand and foot. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I can pull that out, but that's a simple task. I wore gloves, you know, and washed my hands after, because even though I wore gloves, I was just like, but what if the glove had a tiny hole? Cats, man. It's never simple. It's either very weird or just very complicated. But it's all right. We're chilling like villains. I love my cats so much. Dogs are great. I'll forever be a cat person through and through. All right. I'm going to be real with y'all with my ADHD this morning. I don't remember what I read in this paragraph, so I'm going to reread it. I'm so sorry. Determined, I pierced the membrane with my own hands and stepped into the unknown. I found myself in a gigantic temple plunged in half light. Pale lunar rays passed through from above the vault, which allowed my eyes to get used to the darkness and finally see what the night was hiding within. There were dozens and dozens of cocoons similar to mine, all aligned or all around me. I moved toward the nearest one and glanced through the gleaming translucent membrane. Oh, creepy. Love the art, though. I mean, I love the art before playing the game. I got visuals ahead of time, but it's still nice. It's still different to experience it in game, if you catch my drift. There was someone inside, a sleeping human being. This discovery deeply disturbed me. Despite my dry mouth and hazy mind, it seemed clear to me that those poor souls were being held captive against their will. I absolutely had to free them. As I was about to tear the lianas imprisoning the stranger's cocoon, I heard a bell tinkling behind me. I turned around. A strange figure was standing a few meters from me. A man or a woman, dressed in a long robe akin to a monk's, leaning on a cane, with their eyes fully covered by a black blindfold. Who are you? What is this place? I ask. Instead of answering, the apparition simply beckoned me to come closer. I had a moment of hesitation. After all, I did not know this person. There was no guarantee I could trust them. But it was also the only human being able to provide me with the reasons of my presence in this enigmatic place. Could I even hope to understand without their help? I'm sorry, that's such a, for me, strange assumption to assume that person is human. I feel like if I woke up in a cocoon, I see other people trapped in a cocoon, and I think, yeah, this person's also human. There's no creature hidden in the shadows here. But that's just me. That's just me. As I was remaining motionless and mistrustful, my interlocutor reached for me. I sighed. In the end, this blind person appeared quite harmless. Had they wanted to coerce me, they would have probably tried to do so sooner. So many assumptions. I also am very distrustful. I question everything. I don't look it, but I am immensely, like, I don't want to say distrust. Like, I'm not. My cats are going a little. My cats have the zoomies right now. I'm so sorry if you hear things or if I suddenly pause mid-sentence. I'm just making sure they don't break anything or kill each other. But it's just zoomies. Okay. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, it's not like I'm like immensely like everyone's out to get me, like kind of distrustful, but it's like one of those things where it's just like, if this was a horror movie, would this be a smart decision? You know what I mean? Suspicious yet determined, I responded in kind and grabbed their hand, and they quietly took me through the temple. To my greatest surprise, there were many other rooms like the one I had awakened in, all filled with cocoons. This strange and dreamlike sight sparked my curiosity just as much as it confused me. Is there something like a smart decision in a horror movie? Valid question. But like, some people survive somehow, some way. I mean, physically at least. Mentally, probably not. But it's just like, I just think through it and I'm just like, would this decision lead me to getting kidnapped? Would this decision lead me to, like, you know, get into some other horrible hypothetical situation? Like, I constantly think that way, especially because one of my friends does not have that. They'll be like, oh yeah, oh my god, I met this cool dude in an alley. Like, he seemed a bit hyper and, you know, something was going on, but like, he was so chill. He said he had free puppies, so I wanted to take a look. I have a friend who would not think twice, and so I think for me, it's just, I like have to overcompensate for that and be like, let's not follow strange men with erratic behavior into an alleyway because they say they have free puppies. You know what I mean? But I agree with you. Horror movies, yeah, I don't think there's any really smart decision. Where are we exactly? Why are the plants everywhere? Why are there plants everywhere? Why do people sleep in cocoons? I asked. But my companion remained silent the whole way and simply led me to the exit, to my annoyance. At least tell me your name. Finally, I arrived outside. Before me, a desert scattered with ruins stretched out to the horizon. Destroyed buildings were engulfed by luxurious plants, yet the atmosphere was dry. Gusts of wind regularly created whirlwinds of dust from the muddy ground. In the firmament, a gigantic moon seemed to watch over this mysterious landscape. I felt strangely anxious, as if I had returned to a familiar place. A place lurking deep within my heart that I would prefer to forget. My temporary guide brought me out my torpor by letting go of my hand and respectfully bowing down before me. Wait! Before I even had a chance to hold them back, they vanished into the depths of the temple again. At the same time, a group of young women came out of one of the buildings. They noticed me and readily rushed towards me, laughing. Oh, you just woke up? You must be a new shadow, says girl one. What's your dream? What's your dream? Tell us, goes girl two. Come on, don't pressure him. The poor soul must be utterly lost, says girl three. But it's the first time I met someone who had just been born. I'm intrigued. I want to know what he saw. Me howdy. Hi, Arcade. How are you? Welcome in. How's your day going? I do not understand what you are talking about, I say. Where are we? What exactly is this place? Why are there people sleeping in there? Don't worry, reassures girl number 1. We're going to explain everything. But first, you must tell us your dream. Dating shadows now? Look, I'm not above it. But quite not what's happening here yet. Or maybe. I don't know. Never played this before. I'm super hyped. I don't think so, though. But yeah, I'm not above dating a shadow. You should have seen me. I didn't stream that part. You should have seen me date everything. I went fucking feral for a certain character. Better today. Things happen this week and cause a huge shift in life. Well, I'm glad you're doing better today. I hope things go well. I feel you. This week was a week. But it is now the weekend. For me, at least, thank God. I hope you have a 3-day weekend. And if not, I hope you have a chill next few days. You're welcome to share if you feel comfortable. Thank you for asking. Was it only a dream? I ask. I don't know anymore. I was cradled by plants and it was dark. I had to pierce the membrane. But what happened before that? Asked girl number 2. Before that? I think I was in the sky. A deep azure sky. But that is the only thing I remember. Well, that's not very precise, says girl number 2. If a newborn claims he doesn't remember his dream, he is most likely a wavering shadow, says girl number 3. We must take him to Lice as soon as possible. You're right, agrees girl number 1. His time is limited. He needs to find his dream quickly. Lice? Limited time? What is the meaning of this? What is going to happen to me? I ask. That's simple, goes girl number 3. We're going to take you to the wise woman of the village. She's the most knowledgeable person around. She'll know how to help you. Absolutely, goes girl number 1. And she'll explain the whole thing far better than us. It was anarchy in my head. I absolutely did not understand what was going on. Oh, I'm sorry that you're going through that, Arcade. I hope things go well for y'all. I know it's not the plan in life, but I hope things go in a better direction for you. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm making sure Kai, he's in a zoomy phase, and I heard scratches on walls, so I'm making sure he's not... He likes to hug, like doorways, and, like, try and climb them. And I rent, so we gotta make sure he's not doing that. Yes, I'm talking about you, Bubba. I don't know if y'all can hear him. He's chatting up a storm, singing the song of his people. We're being civil. That's good. You know, I think that's the best that could happen. I am a child of divorce, and my parents were not civil. So I'm glad y'all are working it out in your own way. None of the human beings I had crossed paths with thus far appeared hostile, but nothing made any sense. I half-heartedly let myself be guided through the ruins by my new friends. We met other people on the way, men and women of all ages, dressed with loose and relatively warm clothes, probably to protect themselves from the wind and aridity. Some of them were talking aloud on a threshold, others were building some terracotta huts, and some were pulling carts laden with tools. One could have thought it was an ordinary village, if not for this peculiar and unspeakable feeling, as if these people did not really exist, as if this hamlet was in fact inhabited by shadows. Finally, the young woman stopped before I've never seen this word before. I'm so sorry if I butcher words, y'all. Uh, Vivo Ak? I'm gonna have to look that up later. A small group was gathered around the fire. Step aside, says girl number 3. It's important. We have to see Lise right now. It's true, goes girl number 2. We may have found a wavering shadow. With these words, a voice both sharp and soft rose. Let me see. The villagers moved aside in a flash. Then I saw her. What are words? I have no clue. I say random shit. Like, why can't I just make up my own words? I actually have, at my job, I have a team member that I supervise. He's a chill dude. He created his own language, spoken and written, and any notes he takes to like help him with his job, it's in that language. He's very intelligent. English is actually trying to kill you. It always fucking does. And with sometimes I have my brain goes faster than my mouth, so I stutter or I stumble over words, or like my brain likes to switch. Luckily, it doesn't switch letters, but it'll switch words in a sentence because like my peripheral will see like, you know, bear at the end, but it puts it in the middle because like my peripheral is trying to include it in the beginning, and I'm just like, can we not move things around? Yet despite that, I play a lot of visual novels. So I should start like a blooper reel at some point. Just show all the times I like did not English. A young woman stood straight amidst the crowd, full of confidence. She was wearing a pure white dress that contrasted with the gray and dirty air. I just want to say, the animations are great. Those clouds earlier, fucking cool. And, like, it's hard to see. It's very subtle, but we have these little dust specks. It, like, adds to it without... Oh, I clicked when I shouldn't have. It just adds to the effect or, like, the vibe of the game. With a bright red cloak on her shoulder, she shook her brown hair and smiled mysteriously. Her piercing eyes saw right through my flesh. As if she had put a finger over my heart, a sharp pain ran through me. Her eyes reminded me of the sky, a great azure sky, and the coldness of the ground when my guts spilled onto the floor. I was falling. I was drowning. I was going to hit the floor. I was only Fate's toy, a thing without a will. Yes, that was my dream, a fall. But was it really a dream? The wind blowing in my hair felt so real, the light so bright. And before that, before falling, I was on a lighthouse's promontory. I was watching over the landscape from the top of the tower. The air was fresh, just warm enough, and the sun was caressing my skin. But despite all that, I jumped. I was the one who did it. I killed myself. But why? I do not know. I do not remember why I did it. When I finally came back to my senses, the young woman was staring at me with a large smile. You just got a piece of your memory back, right? What? Who are you? I ask. Ah, how stupid of me. I did not introduce myself. Where are my manners? My name is Lise. I'm this village's wise woman, and I'm going to be with you during the inner journey you're going to make in the following days. I do not get it at all, I reply. What am I doing here? What is this place? Don't worry, she reassures. My job also entails telling you about the rules of this world. Let me begin with an overview of what's going on. Then you can ask me anything you want. Is that all right with you? I also think of that dumbass kid whenever anyone says, "Who are you?" I think I know what you're talking about, and real, if that is the case. It's not like I have much of a choice, do I? I go. Subject personality, deeply pessimistic. I see. Bitch, please. I have no memories. I just figured out I killed myself. Why would I not be pessimistic? Bruh. Yes. Okay, I was thinking the same thing. That's awesome. If this is how you're going to be, go on. Ask me anything on your mind right now. What do you want to know? Oh my god, first choice. Where are we? What exactly is a shadow? What is a shadow? By nature, a shadow's existence is cryptic. You wake up one day in the temple, you must use your time as you see fit. Then one day, you go back to sleep without any explanation. That's what we call being born and dying, but that's not really the best way to describe it, because you can wake up multiple times or sleep forever. Choice jump scare? I just get overly excited at first choices in a game, because you never know where they're going to appear. And it's, I don't know. Like, it depends on the game. Obviously, the first choice may not be the most important one, but like to me it's the most important because it sets the tone for the game. And even though these choices were just asking questions, I just get overexcited at the first choice because I'm like, oh my god, I get to make decisions now. I have to be on my toes and pay attention, and I can't just enjoy the game. I gotta actually think on it. Gotta use my brain. I just love first choices. I think I just romanticize them, but it's whatever. Lise continues, it's the tradition for each shadow to be given a name based on the dreams they had while they were sleeping in their cocoon. It is said that those dreams are in fact memories from your previous life. Your presence here is like a transition. If you manage to put your previous self behind you, you will be able to come back to life and have a second chance. If not, you will be stuck here. Does this mean I'm dead? I ask. Probably, she goes. This is not how you picture the afterlife, right? These are spider people? I mean, we could be butterflies. You know, caterpillars have cocoons. We just could be soul caterpillars, and then we wake up as butterflies and then either go back to sleep in our cocoon or something. We could be better. We could be different. I mean, spiders are pretty useful, so I wouldn't be mad if we were shadow spider thingy majigs. Oh my god, I already forgot if I read this line or not. I'm just gonna read it again. If I did in fact read it already. Y'all, my brain is gone this morning. Gone. I have no short-term memory this morning for whatever fucking reason. Well, let us say it is rather surprising, I go. I suppose it would be better for one to know the basics of metempsychosis beforehand, but that is not very common. Wow, this game really makes me pause. The Etruscany Defender of Creepy Collies. Look, do I like spiders personally on a personal level? No. They scare the ever-loving fuck out of me. But if I see a spider in my house, do I go make a deal with it? Yes. I make deals. Yes, I make deals with the bugs in my house, okay? Depending on the bug. Some bugs, unfortunately, you cross in my territory, you must die immediately. Other bugs, like spiders, which can be useful because they eat the other bugs, I'm just like, we're going to make a deal, okay? We're just going to make a deal. You don't come near me, I won't fuck with you. That is it. I require at least 4 feet of distance between us, at minimum, and I am happy. Spiders better be contributing either money or the death of the other little buggies. Yeah, my cats ain't doing shit. My cats don't take care of any kind of intruders. They wait till the bug dies naturally and then play with its corpse after. They're fucking lazy. So, like, spiders can be useful, y'all, depending on the type of spider. I also make sure there's not more than one at a time. If I see 2 spiders, I'm like, y'all gotta make a decision on who's gonna live. Because I'm not to be about having babies up in here. 2 cats are enough. I'm child free. Okay? We are not raising children here. So I also have a rule. 1 spider at a time. One spider tenant at once. No additionals. Actually, Lucy's my little hunter. Girl caught a moth. She was tracking it for a good 10 minutes. Damn, Lucy! I'm so proud of her. That's good. That's great. I'm so jealous. My cats, they watch it. They're like, oh my gosh. Like living prey. And then they're like, it'll die on its own. We'll get there. I'm just like, bruh. I thought you were here to defend my home and protect it, but no. I did have a really good hunter cat once growing up. Her name was May. She passed away forever ago. But she legit would go hunting. And she'd be an outside and inside cat. We didn't really have any vermin inside, but whenever she went outside, she'd bring us presents. She once lined up, and she lines them up perfectly in front of the front door. She would literally just like bring us squirrels, you know, like rats, mice. She found once a whole family of what are they called? They're not like quite squirrels, but they're like related. She was a huge hunter. Hey Dance, welcome in. How are you? Chipmunks, yes, that is the word. Sin, you get me. Oh my gosh, look at the thing, Mama. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, that's quite literally Lu and Kai. And I'm just like, bruh, that's what you're here for. This is your job. I feed you 4 times a day. You have the best litter. I clean your litter boxes every day. You have access to all of my mugs for your water since you refuse to drink out of your own designated fountain. And this is how you're playing me? They're way behind on rent, y'all. Doing good. Vindaloo for breakfast. I don't know what that is, but I hope you're enjoying it. I have not had breakfast, but that is also my own choice. My ADHD medication doesn't really give me much of an appetite, and I already wasn't really a breakfast person in the first place. So now I kind of don't really eat breakfast. I'll do like maybe a snack for lunch, and then I'll only have a real meal at dinner lately. So I'm just not a breakfast food person for the most part. I do remember reading this. Success. Lise continues. Strangely enough, as long as we're alive, we never worry too much about what comes after. Rebirth and the transmigration of souls. These concepts seem so distant to us. And when it's time to die, nobody's ever ready. Excuse me. What exactly happens during a shadow's birth? I ask. What is going to happen to me? Oh, that is quite simple, she replies. The village council will gather to give you a name and will let you live among our tribe until the next time you are called to sleep. If you wake up once again in the future, we will give you a new name and so forth. That is it? I go. Most of it. That's the usual process when someone wakes up with clear memories of their dream, at least. Sometimes a shadow only has a partial or blurry memories, so we can't give them a proper name. That's what wavering shadows are. People stuck between worlds, whose flame could vanish at any moment. What do you want to know? We asked what is a shadow, so where are we? You currently stand in a timeless space which doesn't have a real name, but you can think of it as purgatory. In this world, the night is eternal. You'll never see the sun. There's no end to the moon, to the moor, wherever you go. Nobody knows if it leads anywhere at all. Nobody knows where these ruins come from, and nobody knows why we're the only ones wandering here. But we do know that we're not living beings. We don't need to eat or drink, much less sleep. We are just here. This is incidentally why we've called ourselves shadows. Alright, so our options are, why are wavering shadows different from the others? What happens when shadows don't recall their dream? why are wavering shadows different? I can't tell you why some people have it easier than others when it comes to remembering their dreams, but I have my own theory. In my opinion, it's all a matter of individuality. Not everyone is ready to put things behind them, especially if they have lived a hectic life. There's also a high rate of wavering shadows among those who have killed themselves in the past. I imagine it's because they arrived here with the desire to forget. What happens when shadows don't recall their dreams? I couldn't help but gulp as I waited for the answer. The wavering shadow is locked in the purification hall for several days so they can meditate and get rid of the mists in their mind. After those few days, if they manage to get their memories back, they will have the right to join us. However, if they fail for whatever reason, they're denied. The wavering shadows who fail to overcome this trial are cursed. You will lose the ability to see as well as the ability to speak. That's fucked. There will only be one way left to atone for your sins, to become one of the temple's priests. Like that person I met when I woke up? I asked. They were blindfolded and would not speak to me. They were indeed a priest, so they could not answer you. I get it now. Elise continues. Priests watch over the temple. This is where most of the shadows wake up and where the faded shadows come to sleep. So you do not do anything special to keep them asleep? I ask. Not at all. Actually, the shadows who are on the verge of fading are sorry, I'm struggling with this word. Irremediably drawn to this place and come stand next to the walls by themselves. Then plants grow little by little over their bodies and cover them. You can consider your cocoon an extension of your body. That is disgusting, I say. I find this rather poetic, you know. Anyway, the priests lost their existence and now spend their lives serving the community. Some occasionally patrol around the world and try to find shadows who wake up in other places. It is their noble but lonely mission. There's no other way to save wavering shadows, I ask. I'm glad you asked, goes Lise. I don't know how I feel about that face. I don't trust it. You see, in the past we would simply throw them into the purification hall and wait for them to overcome their trial by themselves. When I came here, I offered to help wavering shadows recall their past lives using a method called mnemonotherapy. That's why those girls brought you to me. I'm scared. The whole process, Lise continues, simply involves enology. It's okay, the goofy faces can't hurt you. Hey, look, I like them. But the moment I see a facial expression change, I'm like, I clocked that. I told you, Helia, I am distrustful by nature. I just tell stories that involve universal themes suited to my interlocutor's personality. Then they have to draw parallels with their past life on their own. My method might appear childish to you, but it does help stimulate the memory. All I have to do is listen to you and react when something sounds familiar, I ask. Exactly, she goes. I'm going to make you explore a Uchronia, and you'll have to find pieces of your memory. A Uchronia, I ask. You must be familiar with the concept of utopia, a place that does not exist. For my part, I let people travel through times that do not exist, temporal utopias I had the opportunity to visit in the past. Wait, I go. What do you mean by visit? I thought there was nothing else beyond the moor. I'm not fond of getting into the details because it's rather hard to swallow, she replies. But let's say I have the huge privilege of being the only one able to leave the village. Why? You don't want to get into the details? So, there is an exit to this place somewhere, I ask. Not really, she replies. Well, it's hard to explain. Do you really wish to know? Of course I do. I can tell she's like fed up with me. Basically, I'm able to travel from one world to another. They're all closed spaces, but I can walk between worlds to find my way. I can't be seen by the inhabitants of those other worlds, but I can watch many things. That's why I'm able to take you with me in a Uchronia, and why I'm a respected member of the village. Nobody else is able to do this. Wait. I just want to say like pre-K pause whenever I go wait. You want me to witness past events you have already seen yourself? How is it even possible? I go. Yes and no, says Lise. Like I said, these are Uchronias, temporal utopias. Time works differently there. I can go back to the creation of a world if I so desire. Why are you the only one able to travel? Well... Lise looks very uncomfortable. She took a deep breath and shot a profoundly gentle look at me. Well, shadows are not really people to begin with, and things you see in your dreams are not really from your past life. In fact, we're ideas, all of us. Our dreams are our concepts. Okay, that is an interesting take. But a concept is a shifting thing, so it's quite normal to be put to sleep and come back to life as a new variation of that concept. The thing is, nobody here realizes it, or rather, nobody wants to admit it. Because if there's an idea, then there's someone who thought of that idea, and being the toy of some unseen being is not pleasant. I'm the only one here who accepted myself as an incomplete idea and embraced my true essence. That's all. Ideas? But ideas cannot feel and think. That is ridiculous, I go. We have to be human. See? I knew you wouldn't believe me, she says. Still, that is the truth. This place does have a name. The Ideas Graveyard. You and I are both incomplete characters in a story that has never been told. That's why we're doomed to be born again and again, hoping to achieve our final form and obtain the acceptance of our maker. That is preposterous. You know what? Forget it, goes Lise. You have to be a human being. I was only joking. Ha ha ha. That was so funny. I knew it, I go. That was one more metaphysical ramble you went on. It did not make sense at all. Bruh. Anyway, how do you manage to travel from one world to another? With magic. I'm a witch. Voila. There's nothing more to know about me. I like her. We can learn how to use magic, I ask? No, you can't. Only I am able to do it because I'm special. I'm the chosen one. Oh, I see. I totally get it. You should have told me this sooner instead of rambling. I hate you all so much sometimes. That is so fucking real. I feel for her. What do you want to know? Tell me more about Uchronias. Tell me more about what happens next. What a dick. Yeah, our character fucking sucks. For now. Like, damn. Like, I have so much to say, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna be stuck on this screen for forever, and I want to get to the nitty gritty. Tell me more about Uchronias. Like I said earlier, Uchronias can be defined as events, most often paradoxical ones lost in time. I especially focus on fairy tales, not only because they're extremely well suited for the exercise, but because everyone thinks they already know about them. Which means, I prompt, you probably think you know everything about the original fairy tales, right? She asks. However, there are dozens and dozens of versions for each story, and they all come from various lands in the same country. Sometimes, the story can unfold in an entirely different way. If you think about it, how can you tell what is wrong and what is right? I've got the answer. Really? I ask. Today, I'm going to show you the truth behind a fairy tale you must have heard about. I'm going to show you what really happened, and you'll realize that different versions of the story do not necessarily contradict each other. It's actually quite the contrary. They're all true at the same time. I'm not sure I understand what truth there is in fairy tales, I say. You'll understand when we get there. Trust me. Here. There. Take this. A new file has been added to the archives. Woo! Each time you'll be confronted with a lesser-known fairy tale, you'll be able to take a look at my notes. It's not much, but I hope you'll find them instructive. Tell me more about what happens next. You're the curious kind. I like that. To be honest, I'd rather have active and keen companions ready to face up to any challenge. It's a lot better than having lazy ones who just follow you without ever saying a word. Oh, this means you're in the former category. Well, anyway. We're both going to go to the purification hall, and I will perform a ritual to take your soul with me. Without your spectral body, you'll just be a drifting perspective, a mere spectator. I'll let you witness the events of the story without intervening. The rest will be up to you. When we get to the fairy tale world, you are bound to witness key moments of the story that are similar to what you have experienced in your own past. The difficulty is that you obviously don't know what is going to lead you to your identity. Everything is going to come down to a feeling. In other words, not much. That's why I have developed a tool to make your pilgrimage a little easier. Take this. It's a piece of rock crystal. Its properties are rather special as it has been infused with magic. A memory fragment detected. As soon as you will reach a key moment, the crystal will resonate with your lost memories and your surroundings will light up like this to warn you. Breaking the fourth wall, I love it! Once you have correctly identified a key moment, the real hard work begins. To get a chance to retrieve your memory, you absolutely need to grab the memento, which is the material or immaterial source of the alert. If you're not sure what you should do when the crystal starts to flicker, try to touch everything you see. You may come upon the memento by chance. Regardless, the memento will instantly turn into a quartz after being found. Once the tale is over, we will come back here and I will transform all your quartz into true memories. The more you have in your possession, the more chances you get to piece the puzzle back together and resemble who you used to be. I'm counting on your alertness to bring back as many as possible. If you have any doubt, the fragments you have collected are viewable at any time from your satchel. Practical, isn't it? Incidentally, the rock crystal I'm lending you provides plenty of potentially interesting information. You can use it to have an idea of what your progression in the fairy tale is, for example. Recently, it has also started detecting strange little creatures who are hiding everywhere in the backgrounds. I call them the elementals because they're spirits based on the 4 elements: water, fire, wind, and earth. But quite frankly, I don't know why the rock crystal has decided to reveal those elemental spirits. Maybe you'll obtain something if you manage to collect them all? Anyway, it is easy to let yourself get carried away by the story and miss the memory fragments, so keep your eyes open. I think we're done with the questions. Are you satisfied with my answers? Yes, I think so, I say. It's quite hard to determine what I could ask since this whole world is a mystery in itself. You have probably already thought about everything I could think of, and I bet you would like to know the answers as much as I do. Indeed, says Lise. As you may have noticed, the one eventually gets used to living in purgatory. That does not mean we have no interest in learning more when possible. Anyway, I think you're ready, and we don't have any time to waste. Follow me to the temple. We'll perform the ritual right away. With a lovely smile on her face, Lise stretched a hand towards me and I took it. Though I did not understand everything about the purgatory I was in, I felt like I had nothing to lose by following her. With an anxious heart, I went to the temple to look for my past. Am I even capable of remembering, of atoning for my sins? Don't be afraid, you're not alone. This is the mirror of your soul. Let's visit this utopia together. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, ooh, descendant of a great family from Mauritania who had settled in Europe, the princess was as wise as she was beautiful. With her thirst for justice and strong personality, she was soon handed the reins of the country. Her wealth came from a magical donkey she inherited from her ancestors. The animal could produce gold and jewels at will. She collected them to erect roads and buildings which would serve the interest of her people. Under her reign, works of art and projects of all sorts. Thank you for the hydrate. Were developed. Her people lived without ever having to fear hunger since she always found no solution. Let me take my sippies. Recipes acquired. The attention she had for her people, as well as the vast power her wealth gave her, made the young princess hugely respected across the country, and everybody praised her. God seemed keen on satisfying her in return. The princess indeed fell deeply in love with a young, inexperienced, but honest noble who had eyes for nobody else. You have ascended! Woohoo! Let me do that right now, Sai, before I forget. Hold, please. Do. Roles manager. Add new. Oh, my keyboard fell asleep. There we go. I wish there was a way to just toggle through followers. Like, come on. All right, Sai, you got the goods. Now you're for the mines. What are you grinding for next? I think you need to refresh your screen to see it on your end, but I see it on my end that you have the badge. He was from a famous family of 12 sons. Since he was one of the last born, he lacked attention and desired to settle far away from them so he could write his own tale. She gave him love and respect, and he asked for nothing more. From their marriage, a lovely daughter was born, and she was already on the path to become as wise and as brave as her mother. It actually showed up immediately. Beautiful. Year after year, the king and the queen ruled together as fairly as possible. The magical donkey from which came their wealth was treated well, and the couple's life seemed perfectly desirable. A magical atmosphere hung over the realm, and there were rumors the queen had to be part fairy to meet success in everything she was doing. No other country looked more like a fairy tale come true than this one. As the couple was enjoying their life, full of ideas to make their country a better place, misfortune eventually struck. The queen, who everyone thought invulnerable, fell critically ill. Even though the king called the best physicians in the world, nobody was able to find a cure for the sickness that was devouring the queen from the inside. Days passed. Citizens were getting more and more restless, and the family more and more depressed, but to no avail. Realizing she was going to draw her last breath, the queen spoke to her husband on her deathbed. She was still young, and she would have gladly kept working on all major undertaken projects. But she was even more remorseful for leaving her husband and her daughter so soon, as she loved the both of them so tenderly. So many things to do, so many memories to have, so many beautiful moments to live. Alas, pain was carving a deep chasm into her chest. As the king was leaning over and stretching a hand towards her, with the saddest look he ever had, she was struggling to tell him her last wills. Her face partially paralyzed, ridden with painful spasms, the queen exhaled excruciating moans. "My dear, this is the end for me." "Hush, do not say a thing. Say such a thing. Do not wear yourself out," says the king. "I still believe. I have to believe. We will find a cure and you'll be better soon, I promise." "It is hopeless. I know this," she replies. "No, I cannot believe it. Before I depart, I would like you to do something for me. I love you, you know it, and I love the young princess too. I cannot stand imagining you crying over my over my death for too long. I want you to be happy above all else." "What are you trying to imply, my dear?" he asked. "I know how you are. You will not be able to accept my death. You have always searched for my eyes, for my attention. I already know all too well how sad you will be. But you will not be able to mourn my death until the end of time." "I would rather follow you in death than live without you, my lady." Damn. Sorry, says the king. "How silly of you," the queen replies. "The kingdom needs you. Our daughter needs you. Do not leave them behind, even for my sake." "But the queen interrupts. "Sooner or later, you will have to overcome my death. I want you to live, my beloved. Beloved, I want you to live for me. I will never stop thinking about you, says the king. In that case, please allow me to request something. I insist that you remarry. Find someone who will make you happy again. Someone who can take my place in the eyes of the people, of our daughter, the princess. But I cannot do this. Nobody will ever replace you in my heart, he says. I know it is painful. It is painful for me as well, says the queen. Deep down, I feel so angry imagining you in the arms of somebody else. But I am not selfish. I want you to be happy above anything else. If I am not here anymore, I at least want a woman as wise as me to know how to heal your heart. This is my last wish. How could I fulfill such a cruel request, he asked. You're the only one my heart craves, the only one. The queen laughs sadly. Fever and pain were gnawing at her. Soon, it became near impossible for her to talk. Her eyes were getting more and more obfuscated to the point that she was unable to make out her husband's grieving face as he cried beside her. Stretching a hand towards him, towards the light, she tried rubbing his cheek one last time. Regretful, she could not help silently shedding tears. The aching was becoming so intense she was gradually losing her touch with reality. My fate is such a cruel one. I only want to live by your side, to bask in your innocent smile for all eternity. Yet I have to go. That is God's will. I do not want to, of course I do not. It is too soon. There are still so many things I have to do here. It is too late, however. I cannot do anything but face it. The mere idea of being replaced is harrowing. To imagine someone else living in my quarters, ordering my retainers, settling in my home. To think about someone else in your arms, embracing you, kissing you, giving you new airs. To think about someone else gaining the affection of my daughter, attending her wedding, raising and supporting her. It is making me die inside. Jealousy is eating what remains of me. I would rather still be here. I would rather have lived those beautiful days forever. But it is impossible. So even if it pains me, even if the thought is unbearable, you must find happiness. You must forget me. And that is so painful to me. You probably thought I would face death with dignity, that I would be stoic and calm. That is how people see me. However, I am only human after all. I wish I had been more righteous, but amidst this pain that is tearing my body to dust, all that remains are regrets. Thus they bid a tearful farewell to each other. Some time later, the queen died in unbearable suffering, and the king was inconsolable. As sensitive and deeply in love as he was, he considered that no girl from any good family could ever rival his late wife. He consequently refused to remarry and swore to never change his mind. The whole kingdom was mourning the death of its queen. One of the greatest ceremonies ever made was organized in her honor. It went on for several days and nights. Whether farmer or merchant, rich or poor, each citizen took part in the funeral. They decorated the city with lanterns in several places. Some water lanterns were even put on the great lake for her sake. At night, the candles could be seen all the way from the lord's castle. The young princess, who was as sorrowful as her father, found comfort in admiring those lights. Those flickering lights looked like spots of hope to her. However, the country seemed to be consumed by a steadfast evil, harbinger of storms. Thus, things would never be the same again. As the years passed by, the kingdom slowly declined. The king had lost any hint of motivation and could not bring himself to do anything since his wife had died. He canceled all the great works the country was working on, thinking they had lost all meaning without her, and he locked himself up in stillness and silence. The citizens felt neither heard nor supported, and discontent was growing. Yet the king did not care. It almost seemed like he was trying to be hated by his people. Only the magical donkey was keeping the kingdom from going bankrupt. However, the inevitable happened. The donkey's fame went beyond the kingdom's borders, and several neighboring and wealth-seeking lords tried to invade the lands, leaving them scarred by wars. The once lively castle was now a shadow of its former self. Artists and merchants were fleeing one after another, looking for more auspicious lands. The people had lost all faith in their lord. At first, the king's apathy and inexperience were convenient for the nobles. Since he was handling the country rather poorly and was showing no signs of resistance, opportunistic counselors took advantage of the situations to seize control of the realm and get richer behind his back. However, the decadent mood was not so convenient anymore. After some time, was it not already too late? The counselors realized that there was nothing to be expected from the current king, who had become impassive. They had to do something fast, for the greater good. Factions appeared. Some thought the king could still take care of the realm until the princess's wedding with whom would become the new king. Others precisely hoped for the princess to seize the throne earlier than expected, while some others advised the king to find a new wife who could revive his will, or even that he go back to his homeland and leave the country with a new government. The most extremist nobles had no problem suggesting taking care of the king once and for all, but that last option would not satisfy anyone. They all lived in the wake of the previous queen, and they all wanted to honor her memory, but no one seemed to understand what she had been trying to build. Doo-doo. Because of those long struggles, King Thabad was asked to find a new wife day after day. However, he was still obstinately refusing to do so. His most faithful counselors were growing desperate. But, Your Excellency, the whole kingdom's fate is at stake. You cannot remain impassive while some are scheming for your death or your replacement. Exactly, since another counselor. Your lack of action is folly. You must choose someone to live by your side to put an end to those complaints weighing on your shoulders. I do not care, says the king. Let them kill me if this is what they want. To follow my queen is my only wish. What a fucking asshole. Look, do I think marrying someone else is the answer? No. If he doesn't want to marry anyone, he shouldn't have to. But, like, to let your kingdom fall apart because your wife died. And look, I do get the loss of someone you love is really tragic, and that's really hard to go, and grieving is different for everyone. But, like, being the ruler of a country is such a big responsibility. And the fact that you stop... and my thing is, what I don't get, that he stopped projects the queen started because he didn't see the point anymore because she wasn't there. But I'm like... but her not being there is exactly the point of why you still do them. Because that is what she wanted and would have wanted. Like, he's not thinking of her dreams, of her goals, of honoring her. He just wants to follow her, but he just doesn't. Like, I'm just like... also, his poor daughter. I'm sure he wasn't a dad to her either. Just, frustrates me. Like, I want to be empathetic towards him. But, like, it's just... it's just, if it wasn't just him, it's fine. He can do whatever, but it's not just about him. He's not thinking, period. No, he's not. And it makes me wonder if he ever cared for his country at all. And it sounds like he didn't. He just loved his wife. Simple as that. She did all the heavy lifting. And now that she's gone, he's just like, oh, well, there's no point in me being here. But instead of stepping the fuck down so someone else can govern, or setting up his daughter for success, he's just like, I'm just gonna stay here. Take up space, but be useless. Just, and again, I understand grief. I truly do. But, I don't know, when your choices affect way more outside of yourself, one would hope you would still semi-think clearly. We love a wife guy, but maybe not a can't live without my wife guy. Yeah, for sure. Like, again, if he doesn't want to move on, he shouldn't move on. No woman should have to deal with him. Okay, that's not fair to her. But I honestly don't see what taking a queen will do for him, because what, she'll just be there? He's not going to do anything for her. And also, why put it on the woman? She's got to put all in that effort to try and make him fall in love with her so he's not depressed anymore and actually does shit. Make that make sense, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine. But it's got to be fine for right now. We'll see how this goes. You cannot say that, Your Excellency, says the counselor. The queen would always think of the kingdom's best interest. If you give up on the realm, you betray her memory. Thank you. I never thought I would agree with a counselor, but there the fuck we go. Like, he's actively dishonoring his wife because he's wrapped up in his own grief. So be it. My guy. If you do not wish to manage the kingdom, then why keep this masquerade going? Yeah, that's a great fucking question. You should have married the princess off much earlier. Think of your daughter. It is time for her to see something else. My daughter, the princess, may hate me for all I care. My whole kingdom too. Nobody will ever be as great as my departed wife, says the king. I'm almost with the extremists on this one. Let's just fucking kill him. Look, I'm not a normally go straight to murder kind of person, but like, it's his wish. Like, he clearly does not care about his daughter. Like, someone like that should never have had... Already? Look, I normally have way more patience, Helia. I typically do. It's actually chat that tells me to murder people faster. Like, they'll be like, murder? And I'll be like, let's just see. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's give them a chance. I hate this shit. Chat, hey. Hey. I was trying to be nice, Dance. It's typically Dance. Time for a revolution. You mean me specifically, I do. Well, Sin sometimes jumps in with the murder bandwagon, but yeah, Dance typically the first to say murder. But it's just like, people like him should not have children. I read a lot of reincarnation, like manhwas, comics, mangas, and I never get it. Like, you decided to, like, I get you love your wife more than anything. That's great. Fantastic. Well, then you should not add more life to the world. I don't give a shit that's what your wife wanted. If anything happened to her, you still gotta be a parent at the end of the fucking day. This sad boy is going to make a sad kingdom. He's already fucking there. Like, I never understood those choices. And even so, and even in like, and what I like about certain comics is sometimes they keep, you have both parents alive, thankfully, but you can clearly tell the Tad does not give a shit about his children. Like, he'll do things for them, the bare minimum, to make his wife happy, but he's just like, I just love my wife. These people are just parasites that are there. And I'm just like, bruh, why have children? Just be happy in your twosome couple. But anyway, I'm way off topic, but I'm just upsetty spaghetti. I'm heated. And not heated rivalry, sadly enough. The counselor objects, but my lord. Enough. I do not want to see you anymore for today. Be gone. Leave me alone. Who the fuck are you? What authority do you have? You're not doing your job. Horrified, the counselors could feel the kingdom's ruin looming. While some were already planning a coup d'etat and were fighting over some arbitrary throne, the loyalists thought they had to find a way to pierce through the king's walls. To get a better understanding of the king's psyche, they called an old druid. Go and try to convince King Theobald to find a new wife. We are ready to do anything to make him change his mind, regardless of whom would be the wife he chose. But who are you? The guy with all the power, unfortunately. I know! But still, that could be changed. That could be changed. Easily, probably not, but like, he's one person with a very unhappy constituent. Like, the math be slightly mathing, but I see what we mean. We got morals still. The druid goes, "Do not worry, sirs. Just sit by." The druid, who was dishonest but quite crafty, happened to be peerless when it came to influencing the human soul. As soon as he appeared before the gloomy king, he made a great impression thanks to the mysterious look he had perfected. Oh, so we got a con artist here. Your Highness, your counselors invited me here today because they are worried about your health. Speak freely. What is weighing on your heart? The death of my wife, of course, says the king. I lost any desire to live since she died in my arms. I cannot see nor hear. I keep on brooding over the past again and again. I understand. The queen's ghost still haunts you and you are a prisoner of the past. Yet, could the spell be broken? You wish for the good of the kingdom, do you not? Naturally, says the king. Fuck you. I wanted to follow through with her work. I wanted to be strong. You wanted to follow through with her work, but you canceled it all? My face right now, which unfortunately my model cannot portray, but my face right now. Idiot loser, yeah. But I let myself be shut away by time and decay. It's far too late now. Bruh. You want to do better, but you're told you counselors to fuck off. And then you still are not doing anything. Better to be late than never. Do we not know this saying? The druid goes, if I may, I think there is a solution. You have to find a young woman who can become the new queen. God, no. Let us, please, can we not subject a poor woman to this man? God, no. He is a menace. Whoever this woman is does not deserve this. No one can do it, says the king. I have taken a look at the portraits of all the neighboring girls from good families who were ready to be wed. They have been sent to me, all of them. There is not a single woman with her qualities. Yet you did not wish to meet with any of them. Why not give them a chance to show you who they are? Asked the druid. It does not matter. I already know it, goes the king. Could it be that you are taking the queen's last wish to heart and you are only ready to wed a far more beautiful woman than she was? The king replies, medieval times were not kind to women, so yeah. No, I know. I was like... I also still... I'm going to be real with y'all. I also still don't quite understand what him getting a new wife will do. I understand they're like, let's make him less depressed because maybe he'll do something. But from my interpretation, it was the queen that did fucking everything. He was just there. Like, he supported her, but he was just there. The power of boners. Ha! Babies. I guess, but like, they have the princess. And I don't know why she can't be queen. Like, that was also mentioned as an option. So I'm just like... I guess to me it makes no sense because they have the princess. I don't know how old she is at this point. But like... she should have hopefully been instructed, as royalty is. And while it is medieval times, again, the queen was there first, and then she married him. She didn't rise to power through him. He rose to power through her. So I'm just like, more heirs technically aren't needed. So I don't know why there's this whole thing about marrying her off somewhere, because I'm literally like, should be considered the heir to the throne because the previous queen was. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it, but I guess I'm just like, what is him marrying gonna realistically do? But I mean, I guess they're just like, women do everything. They be good, which women do so much and are amazing. But They shouldn't not be tied down to useless men. Anyway, sorry. The king goes, beauty is indeed enjoyable, but I do not really care about it. I only ask her to be wise, smart, and righteous. Are you looking for someone who shares her traits? Asked the druid. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I do not like where this is going. The king stood still. Given the awkward silence, the druid knew he was right. The king did not just want any princess in the area. He wanted someone who looked like his departed wife as much as possible. Ugh, the ick is strong! And if there were a Moorish princess, would you consider marrying her? Asked the druid. Maybe, says the king. I don't like this! Then, Your Highness, I know only one such person. One righteous and wise princess who looks exactly like our departed queen. No! She lives near you at the moment. And who might she be? Asked the king. I have a portrait of her with me. I think it's the only one you did not glance at. Really? Asked the king. Why would my counselors hide this mysterious princess from me? Maybe they'd be happier with a man. See for yourself, says the druid. The ambitious druid handed the portrait to the aging king. He grabbed it and paced up and down across the room in a revealing silence. She is magnificent, says the king. This face, this skin, this expression. She is lovely. And you are telling me that she is wise and righteous? Absolutely, Your Highness, says the druid. She has received the best education. I recognize those eyes. I could swear I'm looking at my wife. How is this possible? Who is this foreign girl? She is Princess Kiana, your daughter. Oh my god. I thought that this was where this was going. I literally thought this was where this was going. And I was like, surely not. Surely not. Oh my god, I was right. I literally was just like panicking in my mind. I was just like, someone who looks just like his wife, like his daughter? Oh my goodness. Also, he doesn't know what his own daughter looks like. What a fucking piece of shit. Who would think this is a good idea? I have a feeling he's going to accept. He's going to agree. Oh my goodness. Alright, what woman would make a sacrifice to spare his daughter? Like, I'm sorry, lady. I don't want to put you through this, but like, this is so much worse. Oh, I don't want to click next, y'all. My daughter, says the king. Just when you thought it was bad enough. The king was shocked for a split second. Depression had taken hold of him to the point of cutting him off from reality. To be honest, he had refused to see his daughter since the queen's funeral, because her mere presence reminded him of those beautiful days forever lost. He did not even know what she looked like or what kind of woman she had become. He suddenly felt shameful. Are you making a fool of me, druid? Are you telling me to marry my own daughter? All right, we have a lick. I don't know if I like this visual novel. I do know he's not. Well, I hope. Well, no, he should not be. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. I'm rambling. I'm like literally shooketh. So shooketh. But a sliver of hope? He seems aghast at being told to marry his own daughter. The druid goes, admittedly, it must sound rather extreme. But think about it, Your Highness. Is there someone else who could look more like your departed wife than her? This is based on an actual fairy tale. So it's not, I can't put this on the developers. Is it not troubling? I would even say it is a gift from God, says the druid. A divine gift, you say? King, no! King, no! Princess Kiana looks too much like her departed mother for it to be a mere coincidence. This is God's will. Right? The king was like, it doesn't matter what she looks like as long as she has her traits. But now looking like his dead wife matters? God's will, my fucking ass. The queen's soul did not go to heaven. It settled in that young tailor-made body. What the fuck? What the ever-loving fuck? It mattered when he was looking over portrait shoe. That is true. You're not wrong. She is simply waiting for you to find her, my lord. Do not miss the second chance. This druid is creepy as fuck. This druid is fucked up. The feelings I have right now. I am so now fully extremist. Burn this whole fucking place to the ground. Make sure he burns first. Oh my god. Confused by the old druid's silver-tongued words, King Thabod hesitated and eventually sent the man away, claiming he would think about it. What is there to think about? Don't do this! But the seed had already been planted. Weakened by his unstable state, the king was already struggling not to completely succumb to despair. The flickering hope the swindling druid had brought to him was enough to make the king fall into darkness. Little by little, over the course of the increasingly frequent visits from the man who had become his confidant, the king started to give in to the idea. The druid who had a way of implying that the young princess was actually the reincarnation of her mother. How would that work? She was born before her mother died. That is not how reincarnation works. What the fuck? Anyway, sorry. And that she surpassed her in everything, so much so that the impressionable king eventually believed him. This new obsession was the only thing which was keeping him alive from this point forward. And thus, he did the unforgivable. Wow, what a tone difference. I'm here still fucking heated and salty, and then we got this sweet tune right here. The scent of hope and happiness in the air that's about to be destroyed. I need a second. I need to calm down. I'm so upset. I know, and here's the thing, I know this is based off an actual fairy tale, which is I hate it. Okay. That morning, a sweet scent hung in the castle's corridors. The azure sky hinted at a beautiful spring day ahead. In the feeble light illuminating a four-poster bed, a silhouette was quietly moaning. Oh no. All of a sudden, hurried footsteps could be heard nearby, and the door slammed open. A breathless young retainer entered the suite. Princess, it's time to wake up. A muffled groan was her only answer. I would love to let you sleep, but I cannot do so, unfortunately. Do not forget that your private tutor has scheduled a lesson for this morning. Yeah, it's not. To be honest, I actually had not heard of it until the developers reached out to me about their game, and I was just like, well, and they mentioned specifically what folklore this game was based off of, so I was just like, I should know it, right? But I didn't realize they were really gonna follow it, so I was really hoping the incest was not gonna be there, but well, not well. It's not technically there, but like the threat would not be there, but it's there. I was blinding myself on purpose. I was being our character in the beginning, only hearing what they wanted to hear. That's what I was doing. The figure moved laboriously. Is that you, Nahima? Who else, princess? I am the one waking you up every morning. Now please make haste and get out of bed. We need to perform your toilet. The young woman stood up without a word and let her lady-in-waiting guide her. Through precise and vigorous gestures, she made her take a bath. Then she took care of dressing her. Just as the retainer was going to brush her hair, Kiana finally seemed to get out of her torpor. What is that flowery scent that has been tickling my nose since this morning? Asked Kiana. It must be verbenas, princess, Nahima replies. It is the season after all. Oh, okay, that's awesome. I guess that makes sense that most people wouldn't know it, but I know Grimm's fairy tales are the most popular, which is they're not that great either, honestly. Fairy tales are the worst. They are not whimsical like the name suggests. Nahima continues, verbenas are quite exquisite flowers, do you not think? All those colors. Maybe, says Kiana. I see that you are not fully awake yet. Did you happen to spend a rough night? I do not know, Kiana replies. All that I remember is that I dreamt for quite a long time. And what did you dream about, princess? All right, choices, decisions. That I was with you, that I was queen, that I was alone. I don't know what to choose. Would this determine the future? Or is this just our thoughts? My instinct is, honestly, and I normally don't go for the depressing answer, but my instinct was to choose that I was alone. Because this is already a dark fairy tale, so I'm literally like, this probably will never happen. This potentially may or may not happen. See how traumatic it is to get here. I'm just gonna say that I was alone. I mean, Kiana's acting kind of like, this is for love interest. Over time, we'll decide who you end up with. It is? Oh, shit. Well, now I'm extra. Don't know what to decide. So obviously not alone. Not alone. In doubt, just say, you're so right. You know what I haven't done? Save this whole game. But I can't save, right? Oh, I can save now. Save! I love when games allow you to save during choices. When I've played so many visual novels, and when there are the few that don't allow you to save during choices, I get so upset at spaghetti. I'm like, what do you mean? I had to know when the choice was going to arrive so I could save beforehand. There are 3 love interests, the lone chain still directs you to someone. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. All right, so then I'll stick to my original thing. I'll stick to it. Because you know what Kiana needs? To not be here. As much as I would love her to rise above, kick her father down a ditch, and rule and follow in her mother's footsteps, that's not something she needs to be put on her. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. This girl just deserves to get away from all this. As much as the country can find a whole new government. She does not need to carry the weight of all that. We're gonna go with I was alone. If you hadn't warned me, Helia, that would have been ominous for me. Oh, I see where this is going. Okay. I was alone at the top of a tower embroidering immense tapestries, each more splendid than the other. It looked as if I had nimble fingers and travelers from all over the world were jostling in order to admire my work. Well, this is quite an odd dream. Why were you locked up? Asked Nahima. I do not know yet, but there was something thrilling about the fact I was transposing the world that is usually hidden away in the back of my mind onto canvases. If that magical power would exist, I would give everything to obtain it. I swear it's not supposed to be, but everyone seems to worry when that pops up. It's because, well, here's the thing. It's because as much as... So I am a scum saver, but I actually, like, so what I typically do is, like, I scum save, but I play it through to the end. The only time I reload is if, like, I know I probably won't play it again for a while, so I'm like, let's just get down to it. But, like, I try and, like, power through my dumb choices because I do not always be knowing the right answer, no matter how many times I have played these kinds of games. But also, like, it's one thing to wonder if your choice matters, but then to be explicitly told that your choice matters, it's just like, well, fuck, there are consequences to my actions, good or bad. Who knows if I will like these consequences? But it's okay. It's okay. We got this. Possibly. I don't have great survival instincts. I'm going to be quite real with you. You would think with how distrustful I am, I would. But playing other games previously, it has been shown that I do not. I die very, very easily due to poor decision making. I hope the consequences of my actions aren't incest. That too. That's why I was like, alone. Alone. I'm like, literally, when I saw the queen option, I was just like, it probably is not that, because I highly doubt the developers would go that route, but I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was actually between the first or last choice. I was like, queen my butt. Absolutely the fuck not. No way. I know I read the first sentence. If that magical power would exist, I would give everything to obtain it. It was actually meant like it will matter at some point, just not now. Also to make you look at the icon in the right corner. I see, I see. That makes sense. Do you think that this is a vision of the future awaiting me? She asks. Nahima replies, I hope your future is not to find yourself in a tower, captive of some fantastic monster. See, I'm not that negative, Dance. But, yeah. It says it's a bad ending, not a life goal. Oh, gosh. I'm just thinking about all the jokes that are going to come out of this. It wasn't negativity, it was the options. With you equal marry the king. I know. Oh, gosh. Nahima continues, but with your talent for embroidery, you should assuredly not have to wait much longer to get nimble fingers. In any case, that is all I wish you. Your dream was surely very pleasant, princess, but you should not fall asleep again. Do not forget that your lesson is supposed to start soon. By the way, hold on, sorry, pre-K pause. Beautiful. This art, gorgeous. I just love how soft it is, but even though the colors kind of like are technically muted, it's still very colorful. I love it so much. It is so great. Just want to say. I had to point that out. The artist be artisting. Kiana replies, do not worry about me, Nahima. I am quite positive the poor sod will be late again anyway. Princess, you should not speak ill of your tutor. He is an excellent teacher. What has he planned for today? I do not know, Kiana replies. We have completely given up on arithmetic over the past couple of days, and we are now focusing on practicing singing and playing the harp. You are only studying music? Why the sudden change? Asked Nahima. It's a request from my father, or so it seems. I do not know why. I have not seen him for years. I thought he had no more interest in me. Oh no! Did her mother like singing and doing music? Don't ruin music for me. I fucking love music. I can't sing for shit, but like, don't take it away. I am sure the king is simply a bit shy. Nahima, please! Though he can get on his high horse, he may not even dare to be near you after your mother's death. I think he resents me, says Kiana. Why would that be? Asks Nahima. One way or another, he must be ashamed of me. He surely found a mistress after all this time, and sooner or later, he will tell me that he wants to repudiate me. That would not be correct of him, goes Nahima. In that case, why has he not tried to marry me off? First reason, also bad, but way better. He forgot about you. Second reason, abhorrently worse. Abhorrently worse. Don't say it. Oh, gosh. I'm 17 years old. Is it not unusual? I do like the freedom, but I cannot shake the feeling that this is a bad omen. Kiana, great instincts. Great instincts. You should act on that. You should absolutely act on that. Let's leave. Jump ship. Being a princess isn't like, you know, a big deal. We can live without that. Like, when I get bad, ominous feelings, I jump ship. Kiana continues, after all, young girls from good families are wed between 12 and 14 years old. I'm getting old, and at this rate, nobody will ever want to marry me. Probably for the best. I hate to say it. I mean, you're also not old, but I get it. In this sense of time period. With a lovely face like yours? Asked Nahima. Perish the thought. You are as beautiful as an angel, princess. And smart at that. No prince should ever refuse your hand. Thank you, Nahima. It is nice of you to comfort me. You know I mean it, she replies. Look at that beautiful hair. I could brush it for hours without getting bored. I feel like we should introduce women's suffrage on this princess. Yeah, for real. Where are these extremists? She needs to get in contact with them right now. Honestly, I don't know why they haven't reached out to her on their own. Because, like, great way to get support is get help on the inside. Though she seems like a nice person with morals, so she probably won't do that. She probably won't, unfortunately. Kiana gave a faint but tender smile. Nahima had been her waiting words. I'm so backwards. Nahima had been her lady in waiting, her personal assistant, and her confidant for many, many years. As far as she could remember, they had been inseparable. Older by only 2 years, Nahima happened to share the heiress's Mauritanian origins. However, unlike Kiana's family, which had always consisted of famous nobles, Nahima's humbler family had settled in the region as retainers. The late queen herself had trusted the young Mauritanian servant, and that was how she had become the princess's lady-in-waiting despite her humble origins. She was now greatly enjoying taking care of the princess, and the sudden death of the queen had only brought them closer. It was, without a doubt, Nahima's optimism and kindness that were allowing Kiana to live a comfortable life despite the grim state of the country. Between the lessons intended to hone her knowledge and the time spent with her retainer, the heiress was not lacking in
Remember
anything.
to stay hydrated.
Thank you for the hydrate. Let me take my sippies. Sippies acquired. Hey, Jams! What's up? How are you? I know we were just chatting earlier, but how are you? I hope you're doing well. I don't know how long you've been here, but right now our goal to get our happily ever after is to not marry our father. Though we are currently unaware of this goal at the moment. I mean, us as the viewers know, we in the game do not. I thought the whole point with Shrek was onions. Real. Onions are fucking great. But if we do get to fight a dragon, that would be fucking dope. Also, yeah, where is the donkey still? Is he still here? Is this donkey immortal? Simple goal. Yeah, just a casual goal. You know, a life goal, but like not the only goal. Hopefully the most easily achievable goal. This is a great game. I'm having a great time, just so y'all are aware. Yet, as she was feeling deeply bored, and to her dismay, no party could ever awaken the sleeping castle. Oh, well, I hope you get some peace and serenity, and I hope things go well for you, Jams. And if there's anything I could do to help, let me know. If things keep going like this, I'm going to die of old age within these walls, she thought. A bit melancholic. No one will ever look for me. No one will ever come to save me, and I will end up alone in this depressing place. You know what? Real. Fucking real. She did not want to show Nahima her anguish, so she tried her best to smile. With the brushing done, the two girls left the room to attend to their occupations. Also, I don't remember if I said it. Sippies acquired. I did them. I'm a good gal. Good pal. Preferable option still. Yeah. Once the servant was out of sight, the princess sighed. I know, this poor girl is not yet aware of the doom and gloom being about to come on to her. Outside of that, feelings, super valid. I mean, still valid regardless, but like, oh, if you don't think it could get worse, it absolutely could. Absolutely. Once the servant was out of sight, the princess sighed. Even though Nahima was her confidant, and she trusted her, there was one thing Kiana had never told her. Something was troubling her. She sometimes felt like she was being watched, especially on a day like this one. That is so something you tell your retainer. You fucking tell a guard. You tell any fucking adults anything about that. If we feel like we're being watched, why are we not telling people in general? This is my peace and serenity. It's more so, you know, what I'm doing, and literally, like, imagine that, but doing that 9 times and on top of moderating something else. Yeah, that's fair. Things can get overwhelming when you have a lot going on. That was May for me. And probably will be June again once I get all my dates together. Because maybe we like attention. Look, Sin. I like attention as much as the next person. But, like, I'd rather be the stalker than the stalkee, okay? That's where I'm the yonder. That's where I get my yandere traits. Lights Out was a good book, just saying. If you have not read it, you absolutely should. Great stalker romance. But, a few. May was super... I literally have been started calendaring, like, streaming stuff because it's just... I have so much planned and going on. It's been a little overwhelming, so I get it. So that's where it comes from. Maybe. You're be canceling you for being a stalker. I'm actually a really shitty stalker though, because I don't know how to search for people effectively. I also get tired easily. I don't like the sun, so I would not want to stalk someone outside. I also can't take photos for the life of me. They always come out blurry. I would be a shitty fucking stalker. Like, if someone were to get a stalker, I'd probably be the best one because I would just not be good at it. I also have ADHD. I get distracted easily with my ADHD. Like, I'll be like, ooh, butterfly. Oh, shit. My person I'm stalking is gone. Where did they go? All right. Okay. So really, you're actually an admirer. Yeah, I guess. It's just like someone who has Oshis. Yeah, for real. I'm a simp. I'm an absolute utter simp. Honestly, the amount of energy that goes, like, the thought of stalking someone is so exhausting. I'm like, wow, that's so much work for what? But anyway, I know, like, that there's a whole psychosis to stalkering, so we won't get into that though. We're way off base. But yeah, this girl, the moment you think that someone is watching you, you go not be alone, never be in a secluded area, and you tell people. I'm just saying. I actually have a really good sense of when people are looking at me, like a creepy third eye sense. It freaks my boss out sometimes. She's like, sometimes I'll just casually glance at you, like not really like looking to look for you, but like within seconds you look back at me. And it's kind of freaky sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just very, very conscious of my surroundings. But yes, anyway, sorry. Beating a dead horse. Moving on. As the weather was sunny, her tutor enjoined her to go to the palace's inner garden to begin her recital. And as she had foreseen, the princess felt someone insistently looking at her as she was singing. A gaze that was coming from the king's cabinet. No! Ah! As usual, the king was observing his daughter from afar. Excuse me, from afar, staring at her with a desire that was not hidden anymore. Ugh! The old druid had grinded him down, and now the king was as desperate as he was convinced. He had to marry her. That day, his counselors had gathered at his request. He was going to inform them of his decision. The mood was heavy. Everyone felt something major was about to happen, and they were as worried as they were eager to hear what the king had to say. I'm so anxious right now. Thank you all for coming, says the king. As you know, many of you have been begging me to remarry. Until now, I was quite against it, as I wanted to keep the promise I had made to my late wife. However, I finally found someone worthy of replacing her and sitting beside me on the throne. Don't applause yet! A round of applause filled the room. The council seemed both incredulous and ecstatic. Thank you for making that decision, Your Highness, says one of the counselors. You may have thought it of us as insensitive, but we were only doing it for your sake and the kingdom's. Absolutely, says the other counselor. And we are sure the woman you have chosen will be up to the task. Could you tell us who the lady you managed to entice you might be? Of course, goes the king. I will not hide the truth for much longer. She whom my heart has chosen is Princess Kiana, and I hereby officially announce my decision to marry her. Please tell me they fight this. Please. In a shared movement of fear, all the counselors fell silent. Some thought they had misheard. Others that it was a misunderstanding. One brave soul decided to break the ice and shyly asked, Princess Kiana? Your daughter? My daughter indeed, says the king. Loud whispers fill the king's cabinet. A mix of horror and bewilderment could be seen on the faces of the nobles. Yeah, right? This isn't creepy at all. Time seemed to have stopped, and the cheerings have been replaced by contempt and cold glares. Another counselor dared to speak. But Your Highness, with all due respect, you cannot marry your own daughter. The church says... Did you not swear a few seconds ago to accept my choice, whatever it would be? Asked the king. Are you never satisfied? I'm finally fulfilling your wish, and this is still not enough. A sexual harassment class would really go really far with these folks. Right? You rascals, be gone, and no, I will not change my mind. I will propose to Kiana this very day. Okay, oh god. Thus the counselors were chased from the king's cabinet like criminals. Gathered in the corridor, they soon began arguing aloud, exposing to all the retainers who were passing by. The king has gone crazy. We had warned you. We should have gotten rid of him, says one of the counselors. And the other goes, you fools, this is your fault. The druid you paid so generously is a sham. He put some devilish thoughts into his head. Look at the result. It is just a sleight of hand, but marrying the princess, he is trying to keep the kingdom under his yoke. Once the wedding is consummated, we will not be able to exile him anymore, nor will we be able to ally with Kiana to take back power. We are at his mercy. Another person goes, is it still possible to appoint an assassin and... Enough, interrupts another counselor. It is because of you extremists that we are in this bind. I'm absolutely the fuck not. It's not. Literally, why are we interrupting the assassin idea? That's a great fucking idea. Why are we not... Why? That was a pretty plausible idea. Why are we shooting that down? We're just playing the blame game. We're not actually doing any problem solving. Really? Goes, I wish we did Counselor 1, Counselor 2, Counselor 3. I'm kind of like, I know we're panning, but I don't fully know who's speaking. Really? If you schemers had managed to come to an agreement, maybe we would not be here. Us? Goes the middle person. Are you not the ones who let that druid do as he pleased? Let us face the fact. You loyalists are at fault. They soon came to blows, and news quickly spread in the whole castle like wildfire. As she was coming back from her tutor, Princess Kiana took the opportunity to wander in the near empty palace, still in a melancholic mood. Once again, she had felt her father observing her. Whether it be while singing in the garden or later that day during other lessons, he had never stopped staring at her. She had noticed his behavior for quite some time, and she could not help but feel a deep unease. Was he, the man she had not seen for so many years, interested in her again? Unfortunately, the wrong kind of interest, my gal. Was it an awkward way for him to make amends, as Nahima had said? Or was it for a far darker reason? Kiana had a bad feeling about this. Some other day, she would have dismissed those thoughts. But today was special. All day long, she had been under the impression that the servants were whispering things in her path. Something was weird. Something weird was definitely going on. I'm sorry, if this spread like wildfire, why are we not telling the princess? We're not warning her to fucking leave? Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I can be a bit of a coward. I'm not my fight or flight. I can be a freezer. You know, I'm good in action. Like if there's slight chaos, I can jump into action. But like with real fears involved, I struggle bus. But I feel like even I, in this situation, would be like, we need to get this girl out of here. Like, this is not good. Or even if I personally couldn't, like, convince some guards to help get her out of there. Like, this is crazy. With a knot in her stomach, she shook her head nervously. I should stop thinking about it. It can only hurt me. Girl, please! It's rough knowing things ahead of the character you're playing, because it's just like, I can't warn them. She suddenly noticed that the castle was bathing in sunset. Already that late? I must make haste. I promised Nahima I would pay her a visit. Nahima, please have heard about this, and please do something about it. No! As the princess was walking towards the castle's kitchen, where most of the retainers were at that time of the day, she felt a presence behind her back. Run! Reflexively, she turned back and caught a glimpse of a man standing before her. Her heart skipped a beat like it never before due to the surprise. Astounded, she tried to fan herself to get rid of the warmth that was spreading through her whole body. She needed a few seconds to recognize the solemn man, but any possible doubt had vanished. It was the king. Father? I have not seen you in so many years, says Kiana. Are you surprised, my daughter? Asks the king. Well, you seem to be avoiding me since the death of Mother, Kiana replies. I regret that very much. Have I made you suffer? Asks the king. Yes, Father, I just want to speak with you again, if possible. All these years, I was only inhabited by loneliness and bitterness, says the king. I didn't want you to see me like this. But today, I've decided this cannot continue. I am glad to hear that, Father, says Kiana. Still petrified because of how surreal the scene was, Kiana politely answered while taking a closer look at the old man's faded and worn-out face. Had he always looked that tired? That aloof? She could not remember. The unexpected presence of the king could have been a great moment of happiness for the young woman, but in the shadows of the looming night, she could glimpse a red light in his eyes, a crazed and bloodthirsty light. All right, actually, sorry, pre-K pause. I just want to say, look, I am child-free, but like if I ever had a child with the love of my life and I died early and I learned what my fucking husband, wife, partner did to our child, I would never want to see him again. I would curse him. I would become the most vengeful spirit, ghost, god, whatever, and I would smite him. But I guess that doesn't matter to him and his own narcissism. Anyway, sorry. We can move on now. I just want to put that in there. With each word, the king was getting closer, looking more and more threatening, like a raven spreading out its wings. The unease did not leave Kiana's fluttering heart. Is this why you have come to see me, Father? As a token of reconciliation? Better than that, goes the king. You want to be by my side, do you not? I know of a way to bring us closer, but this hope rests on you. So we are giving her the option to consent or not? She's obviously gonna say no. Like, I don't like this illusion. Do you love me? Bitch, you weren't in her life. Kiana responds, I love you, like a daughter must love her father. This is not what I want to hear, says the king. I love you, my daughter, and I have decided to marry you. Kiana could feel her blood rushing through her veins. Cold sweat was running down her spine. She did not want to believe it. My apologies, Father, but the church's teachings. I do not care about those. Forget them, he says. I love you and I want to make you my spouse. But I cannot. That would be a crime, says Kiana. She is still so polite about it, and I'd be like, that is disgusting. Also, you're a pedophile. Like, burn it all down, right? He cut her pleading short with a voice as sharp as steel. I think you do not quite understand. You will marry. So I was right. It was an illusion of choice. The hope rests on you, but now he's commanding it. You will marry me whether you want to or not. I have your life in my hands. You have no choice but to obey me. Terrified, Kiana glanced around her, but there was no way to escape. The king's imposing stature was blocking the corridor. Yet an overwhelming urge to run away was tormenting her from inside. She had to find a way. She tried to negotiate. Please, at least give me some time to think about it, says Kiana. The old king scowled at her, displeased. You have 1 hour, no more, no less. I will be in your bedchamber. Finish thinking about my proposal by then. I love how he gave her that, even though she has no choice. Then he turned around and walked away, his cloak floating through the wind, leaving the princess lost and shocked. As he was vanishing from her field of vision, turned red by dusk, she let herself fall to the on the ground. This is not what I wanted. Leaving the princess to her sorrow, the old king went back to the druid who had advised him so well. Druid, my confidant, speak frankly. Is my love for Kiana sinful? Not if your feelings are mutual, your highness, says the druid. Has she become enamored with you? He wants fake consent to feel better, I bet. Yeah, pretty much. Also, look, I get this druid wants power. He's being silver-tongued, whatever. Did he think Princess Kiana would just go with it? I want to know what he means by has she become enamored with you? I do not know, says the king. She seems confused. Shaken. Am I making a mistake? Yes! Yes, you are. The druid responds, her confusion is only natural, your highness. The princess is still young. She cannot analyze her feelings well yet. With some time, she will perfectly get used to it. So much give her time, asked the king. More than time, she needs to forget her reluctance. For that reason, you should, for instance, answer to her every whim. If you shower her with presents, she will soon understand how strong your love is, your highness. I will keep that advice in mind for after the wedding, says the king. But tell me, do you have a daughter? He asks. Unfortunately, I do not, your highness, the druid replies. But believe me, if I had one, I would not think twice before marrying her. I need a drink or two. Make them both doubles. And I don't even drink. But this game makes me want to. Pleased with the druid's cajolery, King Thabad got out of his cabinet, even more determined than before to make his daughter yield. Just leave the bottle. Yeah. You get me. I was just like, you know what? Just take the whole bottle or two. I literally have plans to hang out with a friend after this. Sorry. It's okay. I know it'll get better. I know. I just gotta hang on. It's gonna be so funny though later because I'm hanging out with a friend after this. We're just running errands together because that's what besties do. We've domesticated each other. And they're gonna be like, "How was stream?" And I'm gonna be like, "So great, so great." There was a loving father, and a daughter that may or may not commit murder. Who knows? Run away, get a new identity, leave the country. Yeah, I'm literally just thinking, I'm literally like, how am I going to explain this without looking like a fucking weirdo? Hey, Sailor Moon, what up? You came in the most confusing time. How are you? Prepare for a wild ride and don't judge me too harshly. After that overwhelming encounter, to say the least, Kiana went almost mechanically to her bedroom. Then she silently sat on her bed like a dislocated ottoman. On a lighter note, I just got Del Taco, and I guess they are giving away Pogs now. I've actually... Ooh, look at you streaking, Sailor Moon. Thank you for the 15 stream streak. I've actually never had Del Taco. There's one not far from me, and I've been wanting to try it, but I don't know what to get. Like, I don't know what to try first. So, if you have any recommendations for me, Sin, let me know. It's a fairy tale. Fairy tales always make sense. Okay, maybe not. No, this does not make sense. A taco? Well, yeah, but like they have different stuff, Sai. I don't need your sarcasm. Here in the PNW, we stand taco time. Honestly, you can't go wrong with anything at Del Taco. That is not helpful. I've been a Taco Bell girly my whole life, okay? I didn't know Del Taco was an actual real chain until I came to the west, to the desert. But I'll give you some suggestions when I'm not aware. Thanks, Sid. I appreciate it. I'll report back to you. Del Taco is like of the taco, which is funny. It is hilarious for sure. Also on a completely unrelated tangent, but will not really necessarily matter, but will be of interest to Sin. I bought a movie ticket to see Sheep Detectives this weekend. I'm seeing it Monday morning, the earliest time, so no one can disturb me. And I'm very excited to watch it. So I will keep y'all posted on my feelings of the movie. She found a bit of comfort in her misfortune. She now understood why the king seemed so weirdly reticent to marrying her off. He wanted her for himself. But it was not morally acceptable. After all, he was the man who had conceived her, and the principles she had been taught were quite clear about this. Had he gone crazy? Was he trying to damn her to hell? A rush of disgust violently seized her throat. No, this was not right. I just want to say, for me, disgust would roll through me first. Not like this is improper and sinful, but I'm glad the disgust rushed in at the end of that there. I was like, you don't think that's a concern outside of being a sin first? But I'm glad we wrapped that. We wrapped that around. Her emotional brain had to catch up with her logical brain. Deep in morbid thought, the princess hardly noticed the sound of hurried footsteps coming closer. The grating noise of the door made her jolt. Was he already? Unfortunately, it was just Nahima who seemed as scared as her. Oh, princess, I have just heard the news from the mouth of another servant. I came here as fast as I could. Thank you, Nahima, but your effort was in vain, Kiana replies. My father told me I had no choice and that he would marry me, whether I wanted or not. The hour for thought I requested is almost over. There is nothing we can do. Do not say that, princess, goes Nahima. There is still some hope left. He will be here in a matter of minutes. I will never be able to find a solution in such a short time, Kiana protests. Time is what we need. Like my mother always said, it is not good to think in haste. We have to find a way to buy time, to get yourself off the hook. How can I buy time without upsetting him? Kiana asks. He seems as hurried as he is irritated. If I were to ask him for another delay, he would certainly refuse. That is why you have to be sly, says Nahima. Rather than directly asking for more time, pretend you demand a gift from him as a token of goodwill. A gift? That is to say. Ask for something so rare and complex, it will be almost impossible for him to obtain it, Nahima explains. Ah, love her facial expression. Thus, even if he manages to give it to you, you would have bought quite some time nonetheless. And if he does not keep his commitment, then it is even better. That's a good idea, says Kiana. However, I have to find someone to ask him without sounding suspicious. If I were to request some Far Eastern China from him, he would argue that this is not necessary or promise to buy some after our wedding. You're right, says Nahima. Nahima rubbed her chin with a pensive look. Time. We need time. All of a sudden, she clapped her hands. I know, princess. Demand that gives you a dress the color of time. It is common for a future bride to want new clothes to appear a proper lady in the arms of her spouse. He will not be able to refuse. And since time has no color, no tailor, even a fairy one, could ever manage to craft such a dress. Nahima, you are a genius, says Kiana. I would say, how would this work? But at the same time, the king is obviously cray-cray. So it would work. Ah! The facial expressions! I love it! Under the influence of relief, Kiana flew into her retainer's arms, who consequently went as red as beetroot. Princess, please! This was nothing! The two girls were so happy they failed to notice the sound of footsteps in the corridor in time. Someone knocked at the door. This time, there was no place for doubt. It was the king. My daughter, are you here? Stop calling her your daughter! Are you gonna call Ella? God, you're gonna call her that once you marry her? It's not gonna happen. I refuse to believe it will happen. Ugh. Quick, Nahima, hide under the bed. We cannot let him know you are here. No sooner said than done. Nahima slipped under the wooden frame. The wide bed sheets easily covered her, and Kiana only had to adjust their length to be sure she could not be seen. I am coming, father. With shaky hands, the princess opened the door and let the king come in. No worries, Sailor Moon. Hope to see you soon. His eyes were as piercing and hard as an hour ago. She could not help but gulp. So, have you considered my proposal? Yes, father. After pondering the issue, I have come to the conclusion that I cannot appear by your side without clothes fit for a queen. I want to honor you, and that is why I would like to slightly renew my wardrobe before the wedding. The druid's advice immediately came to the old king's mind. The young woman was certainly about to express some whims of hers, and he could not pass on such an occasion to earn her trust. Thus, the king carefully listened to her. Please speak frankly, dear daughter. I am listening, and I will try my best to fulfill whatever you wish you have. Father, please bear that I ask of you address the color of time. The color of time? Asked the king. What a strange whim of yours. But so be it. I will stick to my word. You will have this dress tomorrow evening at the same time. And with a solemn look, he left the room, delighted by the hope the heiress had given him. Nahima took advantage of this opportunity to come out of her hiding. You have been wonderful, princess. We have managed to buy enough time to set up a plan. I love you didn't fucking question it. The color of time? How whimsical. But okay. If time did have a color, what do you think it would be? Kiana goes, we still have to find one, however. It is better to sleep on it, says Nahima. It has been a long and intense day, and you must be exhausted. Get some rest, and we will think about it tomorrow morning. You were probably right, Nahima. I would not be able to sleep whatsoever. With a brooding and hazy mind, the princess quickly went to bed. There had to be a way to save her. Meanwhile, the king had gathered the most talented crafters of the area, the best tailors there were, and he ordered them to make this dress in a day, otherwise they would be hanged. Terrified for their lives, they started their work right away, relentlessly working all night while cursing this weird idea. A dress the color of time? What a caprice. On the dawn of the second day, the princess woke up earlier than usual. Kiana was not in the mood to stay abed. She was pressed for time, and her night had been scattered with nightmares and untimely awakenings. You save her! Call the police! I can't believe it and both not believe it, but I just feel like there's not one single person that's just like, we gotta get this girl out of here. I mean, other than Nahima, thank God. But I'm just like, y'all would be willing to serve a king who wants to fuck his own daughter? Like, that's crazy to me. But I guess because she's just a girl in their eyes, why the fuck would they? And again, I know it's a game. This is all going somewhere. I get that. But it's just, I don't know. Blows my mind. His advisor actively encouraging it. Essentially, they don't like it, but they're like... They shot down the assassin idea. At that point, all hope lost. The verbena scent was getting overwhelming, almost sickening. All she wanted was for someone to help her get rid of this unbelievable situation. Still in her dressing gown, she sat on the edge of the bed and stroked her hair, waiting for the retainer who was in charge of her toilet. After some long minutes, the door eventually opened. "Good morning, Princess," says Nahima. "Oh, are you already awake?" "Nahima, why are you surprised?" Have you fallen in the saucepan?" I did not sleep very well. Oh, okay. "I had a horrible night, Nahima. I could not get any rest. What is going to happen to me?" "I'm sorry to hear that, Princess. I understand that you're troubled by your father's proposal, but we have to keep calm to find a plan of action. Know that you are not alone. I am with you, and I am not going to let you down." "You're probably right as usual," says Kiana. "Thank you, Nahima. I really do not know what I would do without you." The young servant squirmed with an embarrassed look. "Oh, Princess, this is no time for flattery. First, I have to take care of your toilet." The lady-in-waiting set to do her work, all the while still talking. "I've thought a lot about this myself, Princess, and I believe it would be wiser to tell your private tutor that you are sick. It would grant us more leeway to conduct some research." "A very good idea, Nahima. Do you already know what to do?" "You'll probably not believe me," Nahima replies, "but I saw your mother in a dream last night, and I remembered something. After your birth, it was said that she had given you the fairy's blessing." "The fairy's blessing?" asked Kiana. "It's just a rumor, but there should be some truth in that statement. If your mother did leave something useful to you, we could use it to save you." Kiana skeptically stared at the young Moor. "I would love to believe in magic too, but these are old legends, and I am too old to be fooled by this nonsense." Nahima raised her voice while making wide, frenetic gestures. "I know it must sound ridiculous, but I believe in those legends. I think your mother had the fairy's blessing and passed it on to you, and I am even ready to prove it." "And how are you going to do that?" asked Kiana. "I'm going to leave the castle for the day and investigate in the nearby hamlets. I'm sure some old countrywoman will be able to give me information about the true meaning of this rumor." "In that case, I'm going to have to look around the great library," says Kiana. "Maybe some dusty books will teach me how to get rid of the madness that has taken hold of my father. Let us part ways and meet again tonight in my bedroom and talk about our findings. May the best of us win." Oh, turning into a game. I'm so glad. "It is a deal then," says Nahima. "You seem quite confident, Princess, but do not underestimate the power of old legends. Magic does exist, and I will prove it." Once done with the toilet, Nahima parted from the princess and quickly set off, convinced she had found the best lead. Left to her own devices, the heiress sighed and went towards the library, dawdling on the way. Laziness was taking hold of her with each step, and everything seemed pointless. Her heart was looking for an escape, but her brain was telling her again and again there was no miracle she could hope for. The only thing that she could do in the meantime was to pray. The dust that welcomed her as she entered the dark room only increased her distress. Carrying a candle, she inspected the shelves, looking for a ray of hope. Most of the books the king owned were written transpositions of epic poems, lyric lays, or chivalric romances. The few treatises on science were all gathered in a small corner. Liber Simplicis Medicinae by the abbess Hildegard of Bingen, translated from German. This may be what I need. Oh, I didn't mean to click that, but we'll save. She sat down at a table and glanced over the book. Descriptions of plants of medicinal value were passing under her eyes, but nothing of value to her. What was I thinking? No book can get me out of this mess other than black magic or alchemy books. Am I really this desperate? Yes! Kiana closed the Treaty of Medicine with a bitter pout. If truth be told, she had suspected her approach would be unsuccessful, but she had hoped this false sense of action would be enough to regain her courage. What I need would be to bring my father to his senses, and there was no plant that could help me change his mind. Maybe not change his mind, but maybe change the status of his breathing? Or change the status of his heart physically? Maybe not emotionally. Or like may change the unfortunate situation where he's alive. We could stab him too. True. But if he were to die mysteriously of poison, we wouldn't necessarily suspect it's the princess. We could blame it on the extremists. It'll be fine. Disheartened, the princess put the imposing tome back and decided to spend the rest of the day alone in this dark yet soothing room. To pass time and forget her sorrow, she grabbed I'm so sorry, I'm butchering words all stream today. Cligis, some courtly literature she knew rather well. Was there anything better to forget the passing of time? Cligis, grandson of the Emperor Alexander of Constantinople and nephew of Gawain from the Arthurian legend, was a brave knight who achieved many feats. Wronged by his uncle Elise, he falls deeply in love with Fenice, who is destined to be the bride of the former. He finds his love reciprocated since Fenice is impressed by his achievements. The lovers quietly suffer, but decide not to hide and live openly with their feelings. They hatch an escape plan so they can live freely. However, the uncle eventually dies from sorrow, which lets them seize the throne and celebrate their wedding with great fanfare. You know what? That's another way. Grab a knight, sneak away to a church, get married. I don't know, the king's crazy enough. It probably wouldn't stop him, but like, can't marry. I'm sure bigotry is outlawed here. Hopefully. Like, that's one way to go about it. I mean, it still sucks. You're still trapping yourself with another man, but you know, it's an option. Can't marry them if they're dead, right? Right? Exactly. I'm still with the poisoning plan. We should pick that medicinal book back up. Just saying. Kiana closed the book. Since her childhood, she had been told she was born to become a queen, and she always aspired to become one. She had secretly hoped to be married to a king who would be powerful but young enough. She had hoped to be bound to someone who could have feelings for her. Her chances were infinitesimal. Royal weddings were political above all else. There was no way to follow the wishes of the heart. Yet the possibility still existed somewhere. There could be a Cligis waiting for her to be his Fenice somewhere on this earth. Putting the tome back on the shelf, the heiress felt even more aggrieved than when she entered the library. Fleeing is never a good option, as Nahima rightly said. You forget everything for a while, but reality just hits you more harshly thereafter. Fleeing is a fucking great option. I don't mean like disassociate. Like, we should physically just leave. As she was returning to her bedroom, Kiana looked at the amber sky. It would be wiser not to let my father wait indefinitely. If I do not find any solution, postponing my fate would just anger him even further. While walking in the castle's corridor, the princess could not help but feel curious about the results of Nahima's investigation. It was their only lead, however implausible it could be. Hey, Mukpai, how are you? You were thinking of me? Of moi? I hope good thoughts. What's up? How have you been? Once in her room, Kiana was welcomed by the great smile on her servant's face. A bit out of breath, her cheeks pink for having walked for a while, the young woman gave a triumphal look. I have been eepy. That's fair. I have also been eepy. Honestly, I feel like I'd go take a nap right after this, but I'm not going to. I got errands to run. I gotta be an adult. Nahima asks, how did your investigation go, princess? Poorly, unfortunately. What about you? Asked Kiana. EP creatures. Yeah. That's why if I were to be reincarnated as an animal, it'd probably be a cat. Not just because I love cats, but like I get to sleep all day. Be great. Would you believe it? I managed to find the information I wanted, goes Nahima. I'd be a sloth. I choose a seal to go banana mode. Ah! Real. If I were not to choose the obvious answer of cat, I would probably choose... I'm going to be real with you. I'd probably choose to be a wolf. Wolves are actually my favorite animal outside of cats. Like, if you take cats out of the equation, I love wolves. I have a really big wolf tattoo that is, like, literally the length of my thigh. It's just the front part of a wolf, like, stepping through a field of flowers, essentially. So you got, like, that close-up look. It was my dream tattoo, but it was not my first tattoo because I was like, I gotta work my way up to that. I'd be a butterfly. Nobody suspects the butterfly. True. But yeah, this is my favorite tattoo. So, yeah, I'd be a wolf. Nahima continues. Sorry, I'm so yawny this morning. Nahima continues. Witnesses of your baptism recall seeing a fairy during the ceremony, and they confirmed that she gave you her blessing. It is impossible. Really? Silence. Really? Kiana was startled. She had never been superstitious, but like all good believers, she knew higher beings could sometimes play with human fates. Could it be that fairies were real after all? I swear on my life, says Nahima. During the great celebration that was given in your honor, all the farmers, crafters, and merchants nearby were invited. Some were given the right to get significantly close so they could see the fairy from themselves. I asked several people, so there is no doubt about it. And what do you know about this blessing? How can I use it? Asked Kiana. If I get what the grandmother told me right, the blessing allows you to invoke the fairy to your aid. This is exactly what I need. Nahima, it is wonderful. You did it. Not quite, princess. I do not know how you can call your fairy godmother. I do not even know her name. That is unfortunate. If I have no way to contact her, we are back to our starting point, says Kiana. Not quite. I love Nahima. Not quite. Like, girl, just put it all out there. Like, goddamn. Just leading us by a fucking thread. Nahima continues. Now that we know, we just have to investigate a bit further. The oldest retainers in the castle, those who knew your mother fairly well, might know how she managed to talk to that fairy. We just need a bit more time. More time, says Kiana. The sound of someone pounding on the door cut them short and made them jolt. When she opened the door, Kiana discovered a handful of crafters who had come to bring the dress the color of time the king had requested. She was told to wear it and go to the royal cabinet where she was expected. With an aching heart, the young woman complied. What? That's the color of time? When she entered the room wearing the dress the color of time, King Thabal was enthralled with her charm. The workers had done an excellent job, especially on such short notice, and the result fitted her like a glove. I mean, I don't hate the color, but I'm just like, I don't know. When I think of time, I wouldn't think of that. You know what I mean? Shyly, she then requested a new one. Frantically looking for an idea in her racing mind, she ordered that it would be the color of the moon. The king, who could not refuse her demands, immediately urged the same tailors and embroiderers that had created the previous work to come, and he gave them the same instructions. Once again, fearing for their lives, they complied as quickly as possible. Thus began the same little game. The next day, Kiana and Nahima hurried towards the kitchens, where most of the castle's retainers met. Looking for clues, the two young women were determined to make the most of the time they were given. It has been so long since the last time I came here. This place is as restless as in my memories, says Kiana. It was hard not to agree with the heiress. The kitchens were always thronged with people, no matter the time of day. Servants were hurriedly going in and out in a great ball of plates and utensils, while a sweet scent was in the air. The cooks gathered around the great table and chatted in a general cacophony while making the kingly meal. In French, time and weather are supposed to be the same word, so it's supposed to be a pun, but the artist went for just weather instead. Ah, I see. I did not know that. Interesting. Thank you for explaining, Helia. Now I can see the vision. Nahima goes, if the kitchens are incommodious to you, princess, you can go back to your quarters to rest. It should be alright, Nahima, says Kiana. We are here to investigate. I do not intend to fall at the first hurdle. Very well. Let us question the group I see over there. They seem to have the gift of the gab. I always loved that saying. The gift of gab. No sooner had she spoken than the lady-in-waiting led Kiana to a quieter corner of the room with a firm push of the hand. Two cooks and an assistant seemed more busy talking than peeling vegetables. Excuse me, says Nahima. They instinctively looked up at their interlocutor. Interloper. Oh my god, interloper. I don't know. Don't know how to pronounce half these words. Yeah, writer and programmer. Yeah, thank you so much, Helia, for joining us. I feel honored that... I should have said that earlier. I feel honored that you were able to join us today. Hopefully I'm doing your game justice. I'm here to answer questions if there is any. Hopefully you're enjoying your time and I'm just not completely butchering your game. Their expression completely changed upon noticing the princess. Ah! I freaking love these expressions. They all jumped in unison, and one of the cooks, bolder than her colleagues, moved forward to greet her. I don't think we need to apologize for that sigh. King's not a love interest, thank goodness. Just a bad ending. Your Majesty, it is an honor to see you amongst us today. May I help you with anything? Would you like to know what we are cooking for tonight's meal? Unless you are here to learn details about the preparations for your wedding ceremony. Well, actually, The other cook cleared her throat and elbowed her neighbor. Definitely a wondrous event, right, Adelphi? No, I appreciate it, Helia. I don't think there's anything I explicitly dislike at the moment. I'm also very honest. Chat knows this about me. I am also... I mean, obviously, I'm nice about it. I will never just straight up shit talk a game. But... so far, so good. I just love the expressions. I love the art. The game makes me anxious, don't get me wrong, but it's just good storytelling at this point. So we'll see. Once we get to the nitty-gritty romance, like once I see the romance take shape, that's when I'll probably have some criticisms. But mostly light things. I'll be like, I did not personally like that. It's fine in the grand scheme of things, but me as a person would have liked that worded better, you know? But when I critique, it's mainly on the character. It's not on the writing or anything like that. He answered in the same awkward tone. Absolutely, Melisende? We are also proud of our princess. I'm gonna have to look up these names, so that way next time I stream this... Oh, the robot takes a backseat, so it'll take a while, I'm afraid. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. As long as the story picks up for that, that's fine. I mean, I am a simp, but I have played non-romance visual novels, and have greatly enjoyed them. So I just love. But it's okay that it'll take a backseat. I am enjoying myself, and I think I would like to bring this back to stream for a wraparound. Because I've been all month just playing games from the Otome Games Celebration. And there's, so far, Chronotopia for sure. And then I wanted to bring back, oh my gosh. I know the name, but I feel like I'm about to say it backwards. Love the Guard, Be the King. Those two I want to bring back. Fate's Masquerade isn't out yet, but when the game comes out, I'd like to wrap that around. But so far, those two are the ones I'd like to bring back. Princess has things to take care of before she can get to level 11. Exactly. We need to get ourselves together first. So I'm okay with the romance taking a backseat. If a love interest were to come right now, I'd be like, bitch, please, you're in the way. I got bigger problems to fry. The retainers were so profusely complimenting her out of courtesy that the princess could not speak as she wanted. She still made a second attempt. To return to the reason of my presence, I would like to... Eleanor asks, would you like me to guide you through the kitchen so that you can admire her work? Y'all, let her finish! First step, survive. Second step, romance? Exactly! Like, look. I mean, if there was, like, a white knight in shining armor to save us, okay, I guess. But I like a good, strong female lead. We can take care of ourselves. We need no mans. Or womans. Or peoples. Or anything in between at the moment. We are very independent and can take care of ourselves. With the help of some lovely friends and allies. Actually, Helia, that's a great stream title for the next time I stream this, because unfortunately, I will have to end soon. A strong, independent princess, for sure. Nahima came closer to Kiana and discreetly whispered to her, Princess, I'm afraid that the retainers will refuse to speak in your presence. They are too scared of displeasing you. They're doing nothing but speak. What do you mean, Nahima? I suggest that you play along and allow Eleanor while pretending to inspect the kitchens. Meanwhile, I will question Adelph and Melisande, who will be more flippant. This is unfair! Nah, it's fine, girl. I trust you. You're our friend. I suppose we cannot help it. I will content myself with being the diversion. Be my eyes and ears, Nahima. I am counting on you. Thank you, Princess. I will be worthy of your trust. Have no fear. I have all the fears, but I do believe in you. Theirs use a slightly more commanding tone. Very well. Let us go, Eleanor. Show me what you are doing. Right away, Your Majesty. The serious servant took her role to heart and dragged Kiana a bit further away to the two other retainers' relief. I thought my heart was going to burst, says Melisande. Adelphi replies, tell me about it. Coming here unannounced should not be allowed. Bruh! I own this bitch. What do you mean? I get you're nervous, but goddamn. They turned to Nahima with a derisive look. Sorry, I'm struggling to put on my cardigan. Oh, and I'm knocking things off my desk. I'm being a cat right now. I was like, I'm feeling a bit chilly. Let me put on a cardigan. Knocks everything over in the process. So what about following Her Majesty all the time? Sorry, let me reread the sentence. So, what about following Her Majesty all the time? Not too hard? One wrong word and it's the dungeon for you. I would not feel at ease if I were you. Nahima replies, you get used to it. Tell me, you seem to know quite a lot, and as it happens, I need some information. Jeering rictus crossed Adelph's face. Tell us, we will see what we can do for you. Have you heard this rumor saying that a fairy had been invited to the princess's baptism? Asked Nahima. The two servants threw knowing looks at each other while giggling. For sure, for sure. To the dungeon. Melisande added very seriously. We even saw the fairy. Is it true? Asked Nahima. Could you tell me how to make her appear? I would too like to meet her. We cannot tell you that, says Adelph. Why? Asked Nahima. Information such as this needs to be handled very carefully. We have to be sure you are sincere. Bitch, who is you? By doing us a favor first, for instance. Ah, I see. I see. I have lost my purse. If you bring it back to me, I will tell you what I know. Bruh. And how am I supposed to find it? Asked Nahima. I have left it in the library on one of the desks. May I know what its contents are so I can be sure it's yours? Asked Nahima. No way. This is a private matter, says Adelph. Retrieve it or I'll not tell you anything. Bruh. Oh, we can click things! I love it. Click. Fire. Even if it... words. Even if it is arduous to guess what is being stewed over the fire, the delicious odor that's coming from the pans put a stop to any thought. Real. I like how it zooms in like this. The retainers were working on a wooden table covered with victuals, each one more mouthwatering than the last. Adelph and Melisande refused to say more, leaving Nahima with only one possibility. Bring the precious item back. Well, if that is so...
Remember to stay hydrated.
Oh! We got a map. Hallway, garden, hallway, kitchen, hallway. I don't know which. Hold on. Bedroom, cabinet, library. There we go. Thank you for the hydrate. I almost called you Garrus because I was reading the sound alert. I'm tired. Thank you, Sid. Sippy's acquired. Nahima had always been surprised by how flippantly the books were put in order. It exemplified all too well how neglected the library was. As she was glancing at the well-stocked bookcases, the retainer couldn't help wondering if any of these books were useful to someone. Nahima caught sight of a big leathery purse on one of the desks, just like Adelph had told her. I mean, I can be Garrus for you. Oh yeah? Tell me more. For those who don't know, Garrus is one of my favorite characters in a video game of all time, from Mass Effect. And to this day, even though Mass Effect is not a dating sim, I do think his romance is still like my favorite romance of all time. And I've played so many dating sims because his romance also kind of took a back seat, but that was okay. I just love Garrus as a person. He was just a very good partner. And I think we got to live through that a bit before, you know, the tragic ending of Mass Effect. She took it with hesitation. Still, it is weird that he refuses to tell me what is inside. I would fucking look. Gonna be real with y'all. And what would he do in a library since he doesn't know how to read? Only lettered people come here. It's a dark room that not many people go to. I can think of one or two things he could be doing. Austin thought she didn't hear the silhouette creeping behind her back. Oh no. May I know what you were doing with my purse? Asked the stranger. Oh no! I knew that wasn't his fucking purse. Surprised, Nahima jolted and turned back towards her interlocutor. It was a young cleric that she had never seen before. You really cannot take it. I need its contents, says the cleric. How can I know it is yours? Asked Nahima. Open it. I have nothing to hide. There is a reed pen and a clay tablet inside. This is the latest register about the distribution of the king's salt. I was looking for my equipment so that I could transcribe it on the general register in paper format. Glancing inside the purse, Nehemiah had to admit the young copyist was right. I am so sorry. 2 kitchen servants told me they had lost their purse here, and then I had to retrieve it for them. Ah, says the cleric. Adelphi and Melisande, I bet. It is nothing. He sat in front of a desk, shrugging with an apathetic look. Is he being bullied? My name is Constantine. Interesting. Some of the servants have taken a dislike to me since I came here. They keep playing pranks and making fun of me. I am used to it now. The lady in waiting could not help but give a faint, sad smile. I shall let them know what I think of such behavior. That is nice of you, he says. Well then, I have to work on my register. Have an excellent day. Sad we couldn't ask. I mean, could we ask him? Constantine seemed to be so focused on his work that he'd forgotten him his presence, and she deduced it would be better to leave him alone. God damn it. Alright, well I guess we go back to the kitchen? She came back to Adelphi and Melisande livid. You got me there, you rascals. Are you not ashamed of disturbing Constantine's work? The poor soul never asked for this. The 2 retainers giggled even more. Oh, it was just a prank. Nothing to get angry over, says Melisande. That's true. Besides, he deserves it with a face like his, being so serious all the time. The fuck? Over someone's face? No, you did not, Sailor Mood. Tell me. Tell me. I want to know. Also, so actually this reminds me of something that happened this week. So y'all know, I have told you a million times, I have really bad resting bitch face. Like really, really bad. And I typically mask it when I start a new job until I get comfortable. And so I've gotten comfortable. And my boss has been a little bit anxious about it, but she has since gotten used to it. And she handles my RBF very well. But my boss doesn't seem to believe my RBF and left me a note because she was there at work a half day this week. She manages 2 teams, hence why she's boss. And she is mainly at the other location. She left a note on my desk telling me to turn my frown upside down. And it honestly upset me. I was like a little annoyed. I was just like, this is giving, you know, men telling women to smile more. I was just like, I've explained. It's just RBF. I didn't do nothing. Just exist. Like, I was just working. When I get it, and here's the thing. When I get focused, my RBF does get harsher because I'm so focused. Oh, no. We got ads soon. Now that note is go to HR. I am sad to say, Sai, our HR is a joke. I hate when people do that. Yeah, it's the worst. And she's not a bad person. I know she meant it very, very well. But, like, it still, like, hurt a little bit. A tiny bit. But I did appreciate the intention behind it. I think she just wanted me to have a good day. But that was just not the way to go about it. All right, sorry, Sailor Moon. I'm going back to your original thing. Ooh. That sounds like a great idea, Sailor Moon. I can't wait to see your PNG tuber. Honestly, HR is usually focused on keeping management happy, not workers. Yeah. Our HR is also just a little bit lazy. And delusional. Like, the people themselves are individually nice people. But when you actually talk to them about HR matters, you're just looking at them like, how did you get through life? Like, how did you get this job specifically? Because your common sense is not mathing for our problems here. Like, it'd be one thing if they outwardly were like, yeah, fuck employees, you know, we back management, whatever. You know what you're dealing with. But our HR, you're just like, okay. Huh. I have to battle stupidity. And I'm sure they're smart in their own ways, but when it comes to, like, human interaction for, like, HR problems. It just, their thoughts make no sense. Also, my character is trans and has to be a little clocky if that's possible even. Nice. I'm so excited. You'll have to drop pictures in the Discord when you get your PNG YouTuber together. To drop back in, Nahima goes, "Stop this mockery at once. Are you going to tell me what you know, yes or no?" Their looks became irritated. "We know nothing of the princess's baptism. We hadn't even been born at the time." Yeah, I was literally like, they look a bit young. Maybe I'm just judgmental of looks. "If you really wish to meet your fairy that much, go see Bartholomew, one of the king's advisors. He should know something." "I much prefer that," says Nahima. After making eye contact with Kiana, who was ending her tour with Eleanor, the young servant called the princess over to follow her. She complied at once, too glad to escape. I also love that we switched different point of views. It's so great. The two of them rushed towards the royal cabinet where the counselors would regularly gather. Fucking leaving. Cabinet. Oh, wow, we wasted no time. This is great. Bartholomew in the flesh, he replies. "I'm surprised to see you here, princess. It has been quite some time since I last saw you." "Well, my presence seemed to upset my father," Kiana replies. "I know. Nevertheless, you have grown up so fast. It is a pity not to see you assume the throne in a more conventional manner." A hint of sadness appeared on the old man's face. You who know so many things, were you present during my baptism?" "It is said a fairy was there," Kiana asks. "You'll know more about the fairy, but if you need to go soon, probably not today." I know, probably not today. So sad. But I will play this again. It is going to happen. I'm 100% going to stream this again. When? I don't know. I have a few collabs going on for Pride Month that I still need to hammer out. I'm just waiting on confirmed schedules. But it will be brought back. "Well, I am saddened that you have heard of the story," he replies. "To be honest, as your mother's right hand at the time, I was invited as a guest of honor. Unfortunately, I fell sick after getting back drenched from an important journey a few days prior, to the extent that I was far too ill to attend the festivities." No! The princess looks so disappointed she gonna hide it. I'm also disappointed. "However, if you really want to know more, I would advise you to find Janine, one of the laundry women. She is a discreet woman who nobody notices, but she knows when and where to listen. She's aware of almost everything happening in the castle. She must have an acquaintance who can inform you." "I'll ask her. Thank you, Bartholomew. It's always a pleasure, princess." Oof, I'm struggle busting today. "Take care of yourself." The two young women left the council room unsatisfied. "You told me you were directed to this man by the servants, but he knew nothing." "Unfortunately, those are the hazards of an investigation, princess. Finding the right person can take some time," Nahima replies. "Admittedly, but time is going by, and I cannot afford to wander through the castle in this pivotal moment," says Kiana. "I know. I hope we will have better luck with Janine." Laundry. Okay, hallway, garden, hallway, bedroom, cabinet. Kitchen. Oh, where do they say? I already forgot. One of the hallways. Where? Guess we could just look around too. I like that we can go to different areas. I'm also gonna save if it'll let me. Beautiful. Kiana's bedroom since she spent most of her time here, and Nahima obviously knew every nook and cranny of it. Still, there was something almost magical about sitting quietly on this great bed in the absence of the princess. The servant's eyes were drawn to a spray of colors. As she did every morning, she had brought a new bouquet to embellish the princess's room. Nahima was especially proud of today's flower arrangement, and she was counting on doing a good job the day after as well. Nahima could not help but cast a glance at the dressing table to check her appearance. Almost without thinking, she passed a hand through her hair while whispering, "Will you ever notice me?" What? I'm so glad I came here. I was like, I kind of want to wander a bit. Will you ever notice me? Stop. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm glad I followed my instinct to go to the bedroom. That was a great instinct. Around a corner, Nahima caught a glimpse of a woman lifting huge baskets of laundry by herself. She stopped walking right away. "Princess, I believe this is her. Stay here for a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk to her." "Are you asking me to wait again?" asked Kiana. "We cannot take the risk of her bowing down to you like the others. We are already running out of time." "Very well. I am not moving an inch from here." The lady in waiting rushed forward to chase the retainer. "Excuse me, are you Janine?" asked Nahima. So here's the thing. So I read descriptions, but then I forget about them, and I kind of was guessing that Nahima might have been a love interest. And I'm so glad she is. I adore her. Well, now I'm low-key regretting the not picking the dream of her and I. But I also am curious about the two other love interests, so we shall see. Notices you. Nahima's so pretty. If I don't end up romancing her this playthrough, I would 100% play again just for her. Sorry. Janine goes, that's me. I have heard a rumor according to which a fairy was present during the princess's baptism, and I was told you could tell me more about it. She replies, damn, I did hear talk of a fairy story. The one suddenly seemed to change her mind. I'm not being tricked or something like that, yes? What are you afraid of? Asked Nahima. She pranced about with an awkward look. The thing is, my colleague, Clotilde, isn't around today, and I don't know why at all. She must have met a boy and ran away with him. But she could come back too. Damn, I hope she'll come back. I'm damn worried about her. Get straight to the point, says Nahima. Says I don't know if Clotilde's gonna come back or not. I'm replacing her so that no one finds out she vanished, but that's way too much work for me alone. If you could help big ol' me to light the candles tonight, it'd go faster. It'd be bad to mess the job up. I cannot read the sentence today. I'm sorry, y'all. My mouth is not cooperating. My brain is saying one thing. My mouth is not catching up, but that's okay. I promise I know how to read. Nahima goes, I promise to help you. That's brave of you. Thanks, gal. Aw, thanks, gal. I like that. I do what I say. I'm going to bring you to old Victoire. After making a reassuring gesture aimed at Kiana, Nahima followed the laundry woman to the castle's inner garden. I mean, it's been 3 hours and reading is intensive. Yeah. That's why I typically stop around 3 hours. But this is so good. Honestly, if I didn't have plans today, I probably would go for like another 2 hours. I think this is, let me save again. I think this is the perfect place to stop for now. But I definitely want to play this again. I'm not just saying that. Like, for realsies, I love the art. The story is engaging while it's frustrating. it's very engaging, and it definitely does a great job of making me feel my feelings. And I just want more. So I'll definitely have to bring this back somehow. But thank you, Helia, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you in chat, and I hope you had a good time. I'll be sure to tag y'all again when I stream it, in case you want to join us again. Also to promote y'all, because this is a really great game, and I think more people should hear about it. So I can't wait to download the VOD and get to editing that. But yeah, thanks, y'all. Let me see. I'll have to raid and run, but let me before I do my ending speech, because you know me, I'm a fucking yapper, and by the time I do my ending speech, I get cut off because the countdown for raiding out changed. So I have my streamer bot open, so hopefully the thingy works. Command. Okay, good, it worked. I now have a checklist for stream. Will it work? I don't know. But let's see who's live right now that we could raid into. Share the love. Sharing is caring. Ooh. This is a nice cozy stream. Busby's doing some painting Pride Month rocks, and they're doing a mutual aid fundraiser. So let's give them some love. Let's do a nice cozy crafting stream. I'm going to start the raid. Thank you all for joining me today on your Saturday mornings, afternoons, evenings, time zones, wherever you are in the world. I really appreciate y'all. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Well, not stay happy. I wish you nothing but happiness and love and wealth and good karma, and all the good stuff. I will be releasing the schedule sometime today or tomorrow for next week. Probably tomorrow, because I'm actually working on a collab for possibly next Saturday, so I need to confirm the details for that. But it'll be fun. And yeah, that'll be it, y'all. Enjoy your weekends, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.